bring it physical. It's time to talk some this and more. We gonna talk about it all. DVD, CD, UHD, VHS, books, Blu-ray. Who knows, maybe you'll even see a laser disc today. Let's get physical. We wanna talk some physical media. Movies and TV, music and more. Come check out what we have in store. This is the media house stream. It's time for some physical media on FanZcene.
I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Jimmy does that.
It's got the Mighty Ducks guy. Got that guy.
No! Yes, but no! He's not the Mighty Ducks guy! It's Emilio Estevez! We're the You can never have enough physical media. We're back.
Hello. We're back. We're back in black. No, don't say that. You're back. He's 108 years old. Leave him alone, guys.
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
So he sounds like the grandmother he always was.
I mean, come on. I mean, he's still out there doing his thing for you guys. Be happy. You can still see him. Back in black. Still one of my favorites is like, so like, what does AC/DC mean? It's like Satanism or whatever. It's like, literally it came from my sister's sewing machine. AC/DC electricity. it's like,
Yep. That's simple. High voltage.
it's just that, yeah, high voltage. That was literally same like people used to say like kiss me stands for Knights in Satan's Army or whatever.
And Kiss being like Gene Simmons be like, of course it does.
Yeah, even though it's not.
He didn't even think of that. He's just like, fuck yeah.
What did I think of that?
Why didn't I think of that? That's copyrighted, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
Remember when they like took off their face paint and everybody was like, oh
yeah.
So that's Kiss.
Yeah, they
Put
look
that
like
on.
a bunch of old ladies too. Yeah. Especially Gene Simmons. The older he gets, the more he looks like your grandma.
Oh, definitely. He looks like his like little Jewish grandma. But welcome everybody, fellow fellas, back to the Physical Media Show. Tonight, me and Tom. Yes.
Where's Kiss Meets the Phantom on Blu-ray? Has that ever been released? Come on.
Oh yeah, where is that? Where is it? Is it Scooby-Doo one been released?
I think that's one of the episodes that is not on the collection because there's like 3 episodes I think that aren't, and there's it's the Addams Family one I think, and I think that one if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to double check. Or was the Kiss one they did later on?
I don't remember. I don't remember. It was like a, I don't know, but I haven't seen it in years.
I think that might have been a later on one or something.
Yeah,
but yeah.
But
otherwise, I think the only ones that are missing on the box set are the Addams Family ones, if I remember right, because of MGM. But yeah. Anyway.
Okay, but yes, welcome, fellas. Welcome back to Physical Media Show. Hi. Let's say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll get into it. We have John the Beagle Dad. Hello, glad to see you. Hell to you, FKHC 2005. Glad to see you. Hell, Brian Barth. Glad to see you. Yes, it's still cold here too. We got about 8 to 10 inches of snow, so we've been all snowed in up here. So yeah. And then we have Ace Hanlon that says, let's go. Glad to see you, Ace Hanlon. Hell to you, Tim Hayes. Glad to see you out in the chat. Howdy, Double Fett. Good to see you too. What is up, Christistad? Hertford Christistad. I always mispronounce your name, but welcome.
It's probably not even what the name is supposed to be because of the stupid YouTube thing that keeps fucking up.
Yeah. But glad to see you as well. Let's see who else we have. Scrolling. We have Corleen Rogue. Hello, Corleen Rogue. Can't talk all of a sudden. Glad to see you. Live long and prosper, Tyrell 72. Always glad to see you out there as well. Cheers to you, Dalton B 90. And what is up, JCGR? JCGJR. Yo, word up. I don't know where that came from. Glad to see you. But yeah, so how is everybody doing tonight? Let's talk some physical media. And what do we have for upcoming releases? So I know we have The Phantom is coming to 4K from Kino Lorber. That's with Billy Zane. Great movie. Highly recommend that one. Definitely get that one. Definitely get that one. What else did we have? That's what I'm trying to think about real quick and look it up. Let me see, guys.
I was gonna say, I think there was a few Kino titles, but not much else. I think.
Yeah, not. I know Arrow's announcing theirs tomorrow, so.
And Inner Space is rumored to be one of them.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. That'd be nice.
It'd be about time. It deserves one.
Yeah.
Are you getting a thunderstorm where you at, or is that just the?
Is that what's it sound like?
A thunderstorm?
No, I'm not. Nothing's happening right now. It's just all snowed in. I don't have anything.
Well, it's just be the
on.
internet noise. That's all. Anyway, yeah, no, I didn't quite catch much this week. There was new releases. Sheena.
Yeah.
But that's a foreign release. Yeah.
You'll get the TV show and the movie.
Did we talk about Fright Night? I think we did. We have a few times now, so.
Yeah, but we didn't get that. We didn't bring up the artwork because that was all that was announced. Was the artwork?
Yeah, I was gonna say but if you want to bring that up, there it is.
I gotta find that. You got it?
I got it right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking like cover C is the one that everybody's liking.
Oh, duh, Cobra Kai. Yeah, that comes out March 3rd.
Yeah.
That was a big one that everybody was pretty excited about.
Mm-hmm.
The price, I hope, goes down on it. Holy schnit.
$200, right?
Or close to it. Yeah, it's like 180 something, I think it was.
Yeah.
100. Oh no, it's down to 119. That's what it is.
There you go. A little better.
It might even drop down more before it gets released, but
yeah. Yeah, but so like here's the 3 covers you guys can choose from red shirt stickers.
Whenever they drop them,
yeah. I'm looking cover C, which was also the better cover as well too for the Trick or Treat when they did Trick or Treat.
I don't mind A, but yeah, I'd probably go with C.
No, I don't mind
like A though.
Yeah,
actually, all 3 of these are not bad. I wouldn't be pissed if I wound up with any one of these 3 compared to the Trick or Treat one. Or some of the other ones I've seen.
Yeah, I know when they do go on sale when they put them up for pre-order. C was the first to sell out on Trick or Treat. So whatever cover you guys really do want, you might do best.
Cover A is really kind of drawing my eye, and it feels like an old school. It looks like a full moon cover.
Yeah.
There's something about it, and it's drawing me. It's like it's drawing me in. Now cover C looks like a fancy Hammer horror.
Exactly. That's why I kind of like it.
Now cover B looks like an HBO fucking show, like True Blood kind of shit.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it kind of nailed the aesthetic for every person.
Yeah, I'm not. And again, all 3 look good. That's the first time I could say that. I would, like I said, I would not be disappointed if I got stuck with one of these 3. But so far, I'm really leaning into the cover A. I don't know why, but
I like A too. I really do. I would say A and C are my 2 favorites, but like you said, B looks great as well. I kind of like the C for the Hammer horror vibe. I don't know. I'm just feeling.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I said, at first, I'm looking at that one. I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably the better of the 3 art wise.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Fright Night, the A one with the way the Fright Night is in yellow with the 2, and it's the blue background and the way it's the full body with her and I don't know, just something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
And it is also kind of like the original. I mean, I know the original has the mouth and everything above it.
Actually, I kind of am disappointed unless the cover B probably has that on the back since it's white, I bet.
Yeah, it might. You never know. Yeah, we haven't seen the back of them. So,
yeah. The other announcements we had, though, were Death Ship.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. And I think that Bruiser was the other one. Other than that, it's nothing I've either never heard of. Oh, Debs, for those who are fans of that, I guess.
It's
on Blu-ray. Sony's releasing that on Blu-ray, so my wonder is going to come on 4K in a couple months or 6 months. Because Sony's notorious for that. They've done that to me 3 times.
A lot.
Except for the few times they should have, like with Luke Who's Talking. It's dying for one. But anyway. So that's all I got here on this side. And Sexploiters and Raw Love. Otherwise, I don't know what that one is. Street Trash, Pink Narcissus. North Sea is blue. Okay, so if you guys know what these movies, then good for you, I guess. Heaven from 1987. Never heard of them. Hard Boiled is on here, but we already brought up that one. Oh, Jurassic Park is being released in separate editions if you want to pay out the nose. But I guess at least I give Universal props. They're finally getting the hint, especially with that Back to the Future set, which I really didn't want to have to buy again. But I'm like, you know what? It was on sale. It's got the bonus disc.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It's new covers. You know.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what you've went through is about all that I saw as well.
Yeah,
so.
that's pretty much all I remember too. I'll be curious to see what Arrow comes up with tomorrow, because they've been really knocking it out of the park lately.
Yeah,
I'm curious
like
if that's where Gremlins 2 will pop up, because I've been waiting to hear about that.
That would be kind of cool, actually, if they did that one.
Well, yeah, because they've been talking about it. It's going to happen. Last year was the anniversary. Where's my fucking movie?
It's true. It's true. Where's it at? Where's it at? Can we get it? I know. What are your thoughts? That's the Arrow tease. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's Interspace. That's what Bill Hunt said.
Yeah.
It's either Interspace or
here's
my other. I was just going to say they're getting the Blade trilogy made.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, because we've been hearing about it. But I would assume that Warner would want to release that themselves, especially since they already did the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, since they just did the trilogy for the Turtles, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would love the Blade movies, but I kind of want a 4K Interspace because I love that movie.
Yeah, because we already knew the Blades were coming.
Yeah, we knew the Blades was coming, so I would love that. Somebody, Corleone Rogue says maybe Fantastic Voyage. I doubt it. Isn't that at Disney?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think they own it now because it's a Fox title. I think you're right.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Hopefully, it's something cool. I'm hoping Interspace, and like you said, Bill Hunt already. So,
yeah.
All right. Now, I know you gave me a list of what you had in the back, and I'm thinking nothing I have goes along with that.
Okay, just making sure. 'Cause I know we try to coordinate as much as possible.
Yeah. I almost watched the one you had. I was going to watch it, but I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it because with everything that you know about it. But
oh yeah, well,
yeah. So it's up to you.
I figured it's about time if it's the one I'm thinking you're thinking, and we're talking about the same one. All
I
right.
wish
Well,
I would-
who wants to start? What are we doing here? I don't know how many
go
you
ahead.
have.
I got 4.
Okay.
How many you have? You had 4, right?
You have 4. I have 1, 2, 1. Technically, I can do it for you.
All right.
All right. Let's do it this way. This is a little bit. This is one that came out of. You know what? I'm gonna do this one first. Fuck it. Because this one was kind of a surprise. Because I had not seen it in a while, but I realized I'd seen this one more than I'd seen the first one, and it made sense because it came out in 1990, and that's about, or 89, 90, whatever it is. 90, yeah. So it'd been on cable and shit.
Yeah.
So I probably would have seen it the most.
Gate 2.
So yeah, Gate 2. Since I watched Gate about a month or 2 ago, 2 months ago now, I figured, fuck it, gonna get around to watching Gate 2. It's been a while. And I actually enjoyed it. It was fun.
I did too.
I realized as I watched, I'm like, okay, I've seen this one more than I have the first one.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad sequel. It's pretty good. I mean, the end falls apart.
Yeah.
The third act has some issues, and even the creatives say that, because the issue with the film is from the very start that the director and writer, whatever, we're talking about Tobor Takakis, or however you say his name, and the other guy.
Yeah.
Michael Nankin. We're talking about how, you know, every deal they were getting after the first one somehow included a sequel deal, because I guess they own the rights or whatever, basically. So they didn't really want to do one at first, and then they finally kind of were like, okay, we're going to do one a few years later, and so they started doing it, but the studio wanted to be, first of all, R-rated. And they're like, well, part of the charm of the original one was that it was PG-13 and kids could watch it.
Yeah.
And you can tell that the script was written as a PG-13 movie. because they even talk about how they had to basically go in and add gore and other swears and shit like that just to get it up, bump it up to that R rating, which never made sense to them. And you can tell watching the film, you're going like, why is this R? Like,
Yeah.
It's a lot like the first film, has a lot of the similar tones. I like how they shift focus, even though they talked to what's his face about being in the sequel. At that time, he was taking a break, and I kind of agree with them that it was the better choice to go with the neighbor kid to kind of see things from his perspective now. And just kind of, because these sequels are very tricky, and like, why would the individual fuck with this shit, right? Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So they do set it up in a way where he's like, they give him good reason, and good enough anyway for a sequel to want to fuck with it again.
Yep. Yep.
And in fucking with it, it gives us this great sequel, and it's chock full of great special effects like the first film. The one minion we do have in the film looks great. That's the only downside, is we only get one minion as opposed to several. But there's some other monsters and creepies in here. For rubber monster fans, there's tons of shit here to love.
Yeah.
This is on the upper echelon, so yeah.
I know it gets a bad rap. I know the Gate 2 gets a bad rap. A lot of people think it's a really bad sequel and everything. I mean, there's something charming. I think we've talked about before a lot about these type of movies. There's something charming about these movies. You know, this isn't like Teen Wolf 2, which yes is a shitty movie and everything.
There's clearly like they wanted to make a good movie, and you can tell that's here. But as you can hear, the struggle they went through with the process of making the film, and how the movie, I don't know if it necessarily got taken away from them, but it got away from them. At the end, and how they tried to conclude it, but it does kind of have a sloppy third act. That's the only downside. Yeah,
it does. And what the fun thing too is, like, his girlfriend in that movie, I cannot hear Bobby Hill because she's the voice of Bobby.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she's the voice of Bobby Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, she's like 5 years older than him in real life too, I think.
Yeah. And it's also weird knowing that at that time she was actually a really good looking woman. You know what I mean? And all you hear is like a little fat kid coming out of her mouth.
She doesn't sound anything like Bobby Hill.
No, not in real life. No, not in real life. No, but it's like it's like what I picture, once I found out and everything. But Brian Barth wants to know what the Gate is, because I guess maybe he hasn't seen it.
It's a pair of basically rubber monster movies. The first one's claim to fame was that it beat Ishtar at the box office. It was this little indie, monster movie, and it beat what was the big movie of that season, and it actually did pretty well not only in the theaters, but did very well on video and cable. And as I said, so like every time these guys would try to get a movie deal made, it always seemed to have a Gate 2 tag to it because everybody wanted a sequel. And so, so the movie itself is basically about these kids who open up this gate to another dimension full of little demons and minions, and just, chaos ensues, but it has a very toothless kind of, it's like a tame Gremlins.
Yeah.
I mean, even though the movie itself, as throughout, I mean, it kind of is a good one to kind of test to see the boundaries of your, like, if you got a young kid who's kind of getting into horror, but you don't want to jump them into Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason and all that stuff. Like, you kind of ramp them up through like Gremlins and Critters. Gate is in some ways a less violent Critters.
Which is funny. Critters in and of itself is very family friendly.
It is, but I mean, like, what it is it's got this weird twist to it, right? Like, and I don't want to give too much of it away. Is like, even though there seems like there's stakes, by the end of the film, things usually get reworked out, and it's kind of the same for both films. Not everything is always back to normal, but it's pretty much almost back to normal kind of thing, not to spoil too much.
Yeah.
So there is like a safety net there of sorts, but as you're watching it, especially the first time watching it, you have no idea. But it came out right at the perfect time, like right among things like Goonies and Neverending Story and all that kind of stuff, riding the wave of Gremlins, even though it had very little or didn't even really kind of bank or try to sell itself as a Gremlins clone at all, right? Or a Critters clone, but it does have a lot in common with those two films, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But what it also had was some amazing special effects that were done on a really small budget. And I think it's this one where the Richard Edlund, or one of the effects guys, I think it's who it is from Boss Films.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys he worked on like Ghostbusters and Poltergeist and all that kind of stuff. And he was talking about how the problem with these movies were at the time they did movies like the original Gate to show that they could do these great special effects with what little they got, then maybe the studios would turn around and give them more to see what they could do with more when the opposite happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, duh, that's how fucking Hollywood works, you moron.
Exactly.
They'll work you harder, make you do more for less if they can. You just fucked up and showed them that you could do more for less, you dumbass.
Never show your full cards. Never show your full cards.
No. And kind of that's the way that the Henson Company kind of got screwed over with Ninja Turtles in a way too. Like the whole point of that with, it wasn't Jim, it was his son who was really pushing to do the movie was because he's like, we can show what we can do besides Muppets,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yes, they did, and they were for a while pretty hot, but at the same time, it was like not cheap to do that stuff. And they did Ninja Turtles for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did it for cost. And when I say for cost, that means nobody made any money that worked in their division. Like everything that they got went right into the product, right? Or the costumes. Like everything went right back into it. And I think even at some point, I'm sure Brian ponied up some money of his own, who knows, but he was second unit director as it was. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe he would forego his
his fee.
His feet, because that movie was made on next to nothing, and these movies were made for next to nothing, and that's just the thing. And Gate 2 didn't do as well at the box office, obviously, but I think it's fun. I think it gets a bad rap, like you said.
I do too.
There's some decent things on this Scream Factory release from God knows how long ago. I don't even remember when I got this. It's a new 2K scan of the inner positive, so it's that new anyway, where they're talking about that. So
this might be one of their first releases, or no, not one of the first ones. I don't remember how long. It was a while ago, but it was still.
Was this one of their first exclusive site releases? Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
Is that what you're thinking?
Maybe that's what I don't know. I know I got it through VistaVision. That's how I got.
That's what I'm wondering, because I know it's out of print, right? And I got it way before it was out of print. Okay, this came out in 2018, so this is.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. So I had it since then.
It's interesting because I brought on my Gate because I have Gate 1 and 2 in a nice little VistaVision box set.
Yeah, and I think they have all the same special features and their same scans and everything.
Exact same disc. It's the same.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, the only difference is instead of the Shout logo, it says VistaVision. But everything is exactly the same as the Shout disc. The intro, everything, the special feature way set up, it's all Shout still, and it even says Shout. On everything, but it's just like instead of when you pop it in, it goes Shout Scream Factory. You just instead of showing those, it shows VistaVision. And the other one is the Lionsgate. What are they? Vestron. The other one is the Lionsgate Vestron video Blu-ray. Same exact one. So, yeah.
So I don't know if this will be out again anytime soon. Probably 2018. Shit, that's almost 10 years ago. So somebody will pick up. It'd be nice if we got a 4K scan of both, the first and second one.
The first one definitely needs it, and I think Lionsgate has it. So, like I said, the Vestron titles. But it would be nice. It would be really nice. Finally.
I mean, for my memory of watching the Blu-ray that I brought on not too long ago, it looked pretty good. So this one didn't look bad. It's from the inner positive, but
yeah. I do have one that might sort of go off of that a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay.
Similar, but not Little Rubber Monsters, but very similar. So
you got my interests.
Okay, I'm gonna show this for you. I don't know if you've ever seen this from 1988. Pulse. Have you ever heard of this? Starring.
It sounds familiar.
Joey Lawrence.
Maybe not.
Okay.
1988, and it's got little Joey Lawrence in it.
Lawrence and his brother Matt. I don't know if my camera's.
Oh yeah.
Matthew Lawrence makes an appearance.
I don't think I've seen that one. No, unless the plot sounds familiar. I don't know.
This isn't even in the movie at all. So.
Well, that's false advertising.
And it comes from us from a good friend, Mill Creek. So.
I wanted to see some chick in her underwear get zapped.
No, this is like we were just talking about a little bit. This is a little bit family friendly horror, sort of like The Gate and Critters and all them, right? So what it is like it's so funny is because like all these modern technological marvels we have in our house nowadays, TVs, microwaves, gates that can close automatically, right? Garage doors. But what if the electricity was alive and it got into your house and sent out these pulses that made your machines and TV and all that act weird and eventually drove you so crazy that it killed you. So that's the plot of the movie. So, so it's very much trying to be like a sort of Amblin Spielbergian Joe Dante-esque type of movie, right? So there's this Joey Lawrence is a child of a divorced family. He's flying in from Colorado to stay this summer with his dad and his dad's new wife out in California. And just so happens right before he got there, their neighbor across the street went crazy and died. And when the police found him, he had all these electrical like devices on him and in his head and everything, right? From where they like drilled into him. So he shows up there and he doesn't want to be there in the first place because he wants to be back at home and he wants his dad and mom to be together and everything. And then he starts learning about the neighbor and from his brother Matthew Lawrence, who just so happens to be a neighbor. So he starts telling him everything. So like, and as the more he learns, the more he discovers like there's like these things in his house, like the electricity surges, the TV starts acting funny, the garage door won't open, and like it's trying to kill him, almost sort of like Christine, like sort of. So yeah, that's pretty much the extent of the movie. And like he's trying to tell his dad and his new stepmom, hey, there's something going on here. There's something wrong here. The electricity is trying to kill us and everything. And it tries very, very much to be like I said, like a Amblin, Steven Spielberg, Poltergeist, Gremlins, Critters type of movie. Not so much Poltergeist in the sense of like how scary that was, but like with the family, you know what I mean? Like especially coming from a childhood, with a divorced child in the movie and everything like that. So yeah, yes, it does. The mom is what's her name? Like he just said, Roxanne Hart. Stars Clifty Young, Roxanne Hart, Joey Lawrence. Written and directed by Paul Golding. There's absolutely no special features on this movie whatsoever. It's Mill Creek for you. But no, I had never seen this myself, and I enjoyed it. It's one of those, it's one of those movies that I think was trying to capture that spirit at that time and just didn't do very well. And probably was a pretty good hit on cable or something for people. And so if you've probably seen that, it's probably where you saw it before. I had never seen it before until I found this. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think, Tom, you might enjoy this one a little bit. It's not the best of the bunch, like I said, but you'll have, if you like a cheesy, good 80s type movie like that, it's a fun one. And it gets to the point where it's like, there's an electricity pole outside of their house, and it's like that's the creature, that's the thing they have to kill, that electricity pole. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it doesn't sound like anything I've seen before. No.
Yeah, and it's even got the creepy old man who's like, I know what it's this all about, boy. I could tell you what it's about, but they'll think I'm crazy. But I'll tell you because you won't think I'm crazy. But I'm crazy. You know the old man in movies like that. So it's got that. It's got like all those tropes.
And I can't believe I've never seen it.
Yeah, I recommend it. I think you should check this one out, Tom. I think you dig this one. Though, like I said, the poster art is a bit of a false advertisement. Though the stepmom, even though it doesn't show anything, does get in the shower and it turns can control the water heater. And it makes the water real hot. And he locks her in the shower and starts to burn her skin and everything. So they have to save her from that. So that's about the extent of that. But there's nothing shown like that at all. So it's you could let kids watch this if you wanted to. But it does break down into a pretty good conclusion. Pretty silly but fun conclusion and good one. So yeah. I guess you could say it goes a little more along with Gate 1 than Gate 2, because I think Gate 2, it does get a little grown up, you know what I mean? Because you're in high school now, and in the first Gate they were like 12 or something like that, 10 or 12. So yeah, that would fit right along with Gate 1. But yeah, check it out. It's pretty good. It's a pretty fun movie. I enjoyed it. I had never seen it before, and I had a fun time with it. Nice, good, crisp 92 minutes, I believe. So I think
It
that's all.
sounds like a very 80s
Yeah.
cable classic, but it's like, how
It
did
is.
this like kind of squeak past? I do not know.
Yeah, it's I'm sure maybe I did see it on cable or something, but I don't remember it. And it's funny, is like they even watch they rent a VHS tape and it's Starman. They're watching Starman. And I thought it was so funny because like they put it in the VCR and the thing like the electricity comes live and messes with it, and then like the mom says, "Oh, I tried to take it back, but they said there was something wrong with it, so I had to pay $60 to buy it." So I was like, "Yep, that sounds about right. $60 for a VHS tape from the video store." But yeah, that's there. You guys have it. There's what I had for you for my first pick of the night. Uh, I think it goes along. I think I thought it go along with that pretty good. Pretty good. Um, there's another movie
All
from a
right.
few years back called Impulse about toxic waste. I have never seen that one at all. That's weird. All
Well,
right. On that note,
my next one kind of goes into a similar vein. And I tell you, the original Troll gets no love whatsoever in this set, but it is in here. And that's the only way I have it.
right.
The John Buechler, or Buechler, however you want to say his
Buechler.
name, classic of sorts. The original film is not horrible. It's all right. It's not great. It's your typical Charlie Band produced film. Now, the sequel, on the other hand, which this has a documentary about called The Best Worst Movie Ever,
Mm-hmm.
is not on this new 4K release, by the way.
Oh,
I finally got, and I'm a little disappointed because I didn't get the special stuff because I ordered it from
Vinegar Syndrome.
Grindhouse.
Oh, you ordered it from Grindhouse.
I'll never make that mistake again because it's the same price. I should have just got it from the other one. But anyway, that being said,
Oh my god.
oh my god, yeah, and the other reverse cover is the reverse cover that's on here. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you get the same poster again. Yeah, as far as Vinegar Syndrome releases go, okay, both positives and negatives. The negative is it doesn't have that documentary.
Mhm.
Other than that, that's the only negative, really. You get new stuff here. You get the movie. I'm upset I didn't get the extra stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But no, I mean, it looks good. Sounds good. It's got a 5.1 mix. I don't know if that was from the earlier, I think it was Shout Factory that put it out before, that was out of print for years. But it's only in mono on the one I have here from Eureka. So I don't know if this is a new 5.1 mix. It doesn't say it's new. Just says it's there. So you get that. And yeah, no, it's Troll 2. What the fuck can I say about Troll 2? The director's okay, this movie is fucking nuts. All right, like it deserves to be where it stands because the director still, as far as I know, to this day is in denial about this movie, about certain things, and just doesn't quite
right.
admit to certain things. Okay, because you watch this movie and it's pretty obvious, knowing nothing about it. Within the first 10 minutes, you're like, this movie is either foreign or all these people are foreign and they're doing really good American accents. Because, yeah, right off the bat, something is off about the movie. And what it is the Italian director insisted that the cast follow the script that is written by his wife, who speaks not one bit of English. So this is a script that's translated, I think, through him, more or less. And they were told to say it verbatim. They were not allowed to try and clean it up at all, make it sound more natural, do anything at all. Okay? This movie, not only that, there's also just things that happen in it that are just like, people in America don't really do that.
Right.
But I can see maybe that being a thing in Italy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I may be wrong. I could completely be wrong, but I do know that it's not abnormal in like a lot of these more European countries to have like boyfriend and girlfriend once they get together, like to go on vacations and things together.
Yeah.
That sort, right? But like swapping houses with people sounds like a foreign thing.
Yeah.
Totally does. That is not something Americans would do outside of on a fucking reality show.
Yeah. I mean, I think Airbnb came from the foreigners to begin with. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, that sounds like something that foreigners would come up with. Like, that's a holiday. I go to my friend in whatever fucking village's house, and he comes to the city and stays here, and that's how we get vacation. He comes to the city, enjoys the city, the lights, the shows, blah, 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 and I get to get the fuck away from it all. That makes sense. That sounds like a very European thing to do. America, motherfuckers be like, I ain't letting some motherfucking strange-ass motherfucker come up my house.
Exactly.
You fucking kidding? I'm gonna come home and my shit's gonna be gone.
Exactly.
My fucking weed stash be going through. Fucking all the cash is out there. Even the change. Motherfucking cheap bastards took the change.
Yeah, everything.
Out the change jar.
Everything.
See, Americans could never go for that shit. Like I said, unless it's on a reality show. Then you're talking.
Exactly. And the fact that it's called Troll 2 is clearly another example of a movie.
And he doesn't even like that question. Like, because when he's asked, why is it called Troll 2? And everybody thinks... And he's like, they're the same. They are trolls. He's like, no, they're not. They're not the same fucking thing. To him, they are.
Yeah.
But he was never making a Troll 2 to begin with. He was just okay with them slapping that name on there because they could.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it had nothing to do with the original film.
And, that's what I said.
And that's like, another foreign thing. It feels like... Sorry.
Exactly. No, exactly, because that's like the same with Prom Night 2. That was a Canadian movie that they just slapped Prom Night 2 on. It was just originally called Hello, Mary Lou, or whatever.
Well, and there's a lot of these countries where we do have like weird horror sequels, because like Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead was called Zombie, so they have like 3 different zombie movies over there that have nothing to do with the other films, but they're sequels to that. Right? Yep. Or you'll have other things where just the rights are weird, so they're able to get away with like leeway. Like, I've got this movie right here. Let me bring it up. Like, no, this isn't the one I was thinking of. Where's it at here? Oh, shit. Where'd it go? I had it right here. Where is it? Maybe I moved it because I was thinking about watching it. But it was this movie that's like, I can't remember what it's called here in the U.S. Maybe that's why I'm having trouble finding it right now. But it was basically like Aliens 3 and or Terminator 3 in most countries. I can't find it here, but like it's a weird fucking movie. People probably know what I'm talking about out in the chat. But anyhow, so yeah, Troll 2, fucking weird ass movie. The only thing that's kind of hilarious about this movie is that the plot is exactly what I thought. So I'm like watching this movie going, this movie is about somebody who's pissed off about somebody going vegan. And that's exactly what it was. The wife of the fucking director was pissed that one of her friends went vegan or something like that, or a family member, and that was the inspiration for this shit. And then they just stole another story from somewhere. I can't even remember what the fuck she said. It's like, so that's all it was. And, well, rest in peace. She's passed away now, but like I was, watching the documentary and the other interviews and stuff around this movie, because after a point, you get to a point like, okay, I've constructed in my head what this movie is probably. Now I got to see for a fact that it is. Because the thing is weird, because it was shot in like Utah or whatever. It was shot in the U.S., right? But this guy had made like a shit ton of cheap ass fucking American movies. But this guy acts like this is some sort of fucking masterpiece. Like, and he's still to this day gonna remake Troll 2.
He can't admit that it's a bad movie. Like everybody, he can't admit it. No. It's a masterpiece.
He's a lot like, what's his face, who did The Room? Tommy Wiseau. He's a lot like he was at first, where he just didn't get it. And even now, I'm not sure if Tommy gets it, but he's accepted it. Yeah, whatever it is, right? Like,
he's like, it's a comedy now. So, yeah, but no, Troll is it's just one of them. My God, if nobody in the chat or watching has ever seen it, do yourself. You don't like Tom said it on. You do not have to see Troll 1. Just watch Troll 2. Do yourself a favor, and I mean, go for it. It's one of the worst movies ever made, but it's like the documentary, one of the best movies ever. How's it say? The best worst movie ever.
The best worst movie ever made, because it was like, and the reason it got that title was because I don't know if it still is, but for the longest time, on the IMDb, it was the lowest rated movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes until I think some other critics bumped it up.
Yeah.
But it did grow this very grassroots fan base, right? Like, I'm sure this sold really well for Vinegar Syndrome.
Oh yeah.
They started as these little, like, groups of probably under a dozen people in the basements of churches and banks, wherever you could rent out a room, right? A banquet room, and they'd watch the movie on DVD with their friends, and then everybody would like play along and talk to the movie just like a Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of thing. And it just kind of just evolved. But now, yeah, the room has kind of taken its mantle in a way, but for the longest time, in a lot of circles, people would probably consider this the best worst movie ever made. And the reason that is because the people, just like with The Room and a lot of these other films that are considered that, the people that were making them were fully intending on making a serious film and or still don't see the film as not what they intended to make.
Yeah. To them,
they
it's
still don't see the irony, right? Yeah.
To them, it's like, this is Citizen Kane. What are you
Right.
people seeing that I'm not seeing? That's
Exactly. Like, I mean, and that's the thing is like, when people throw in like a Sharktopus or a, Sharknado, I go, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Because that shit is intended to be that way. That's like bringing Airplane into the conversation. Like, no,
exactly.
that's not how that works. Like, that movie's intended to be that way.
Yeah, it's like
These movies were not intended to be bad. Garbage Pail Kids is a great example of that. Because he, to this day, I can't believe that movie exists in the form that it exists. That, to me, I still would say owns the mantle just for so many other reasons above all the rest, even above Troll 2, and because it is more watchable, first of all.
Yeah.
But it is so asinine, fucking crazy, and you sit there going, is this movie a satire or is it taking itself seriously?
Yeah.
What in the fuck is going on here? Because some of this shit is so fourth wall breaking that you get to a point where you're like, is it a fucking cartoon? Like, what is it? Because the home for the ugly? That's the kind of shit that goes into like Troll 2. And that's the thing. And the reason this guy, the director that made it, Drago Floyd is what he goes under in this. He's got like 5 different names.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't even know where I was going with that. It was like, just, he thought he was making some really great fucking fantasy horror. That's all I know.
He was going to get an Oscar for that movie.
And just pure video store reasons, Bryant, because you put a movie out there that's called Goblins. Nobody's ever fucking heard of it. Got absolutely no stars in it whatsoever. But if a company has the rights to Troll and they can slap Troll 2 on something that's similar to Troll, they'll sell a hell of a lot more videotapes and rent a hell of a lot more videotapes because it's called Troll 2. And that's the only reason people saw the motherfucker. Let's be real here. Nobody else would have watched this movie, saw it if it was called anything but Troll 2.
Yeah, if it was called Goblin or something else,
Nilbog or anything.
Yeah, nobody would have rented it. Nobody would have rented it.
Greens, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. But since people have seen Troll and the video store was a big, this is how movies like this happen, like we've talked about before.
Exactly. This is purely a video. The reason it's called Troll 2 is so they could sell fucking videos.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah. So, because if it flopped into the box office, which
it didn't even go to the theater, my man.
Exactly.
It was almost non-existent in the theaters. Nobody can actually confirm it would actually been shown in theaters until recent years.
That's true. That's also true. I remember reading about that. But yeah, they could strap on Troll 2 and they say, hey, Troll 1 sold this many copies or rented this many copies at the video store. Troll 2, you put that on your shelves, you buy maybe 5 or 6 copies, and you'll make just as much money. And that's how you
get like the Mac and Me thing, right? It's just like that.
Yeah,
it's like
that.
Where the producer of that flat out said, look, E.T.'s a huge fucking hit.
Yep.
Let's rip it off. If we make 1% of what E.T. made, we'll make a fortune. And how did they know that? Because they budgeted that movie that way. That's the same thing with these. It's kind of the same thing here. They looked at this movie. It cost like, I don't even think it cost $1 million to make. They're probably looking at it like Greg just said. Fucking Troll sold, I don't know. Let's just say, I don't throw in a random number out there, 500,000 units.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say that. Yeah.
They know that even though it's a sequel, chances are they're going to at least probably sell that minimum copies.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a sequel. Yep. See, that's the way video stores worked back then. And they were right, usually. They've not more copies.
Mm-hmm.
Because the video store, unlike the theater where they were resistant to have sequels, the video store loved them because that was an automatic rental usually. You walk past something, oh, Tremors 3. I like Tremors.
Yep.
Fuck it.
Yep.
You know, like if it was called anything else, you wouldn't rent it. But it didn't go to theaters. But there was a whole market of direct-to-video sequels, man. Like,
this is why there's like 12 Puppet Master movies.
Exactly. Not just that. Like, those companies were built on that. But like you'd have these companies like Canon and all these other ones that would love to do like a movie, and they wouldn't give a shit if Van Damme or Schwarzenegger or whatever is it. They'd turn around and throw out 10 sequels with some no-blow Joe.
Yep.
Fucking anybody.
Like 5 or 6 kickboxer movies and only one
Universal Soldier and
yeah. And speaking of which, that I know Crypto brought it up. There's like 3 No Retreat, No Surrender.
Yeah.
And the other 2 movies have nothing to do with the first movie other than the same actor is in every movie, but he plays a different person in each movie. So.
And these movies would have never existed if it wasn't for the video store.
Yeah. And they're not getting, they wouldn't get sued because the producer people who own the name would also buy these movies. So that's why they got to use the Troll too. So
that's what I'm saying. They just happened to own the rights to Troll.
Yeah.
And they saw this movie. They probably bought it for peanuts and slapped the name on it. That's it. And or the producers already owned the rights to Troll when they started making. I don't know exactly how the movie was, if it was filmed and then picked up, or if it was, just contracted through whatever. And then they looked at it and go, oh, well, it's called Nilbog or Goblin, but let's fucking call it Troll 2 since we own the rights and we can sell more videos that way.
Yeah.
That's really the mentality. That's all it is. And you had that a lot. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I'm thinking of, in fact, my next movie has one of those, or one of my next movies.
Nice.
So when we get to that, go ahead, Greg, with yours, because I don't know much else I can say about Troll. I mean, we've talked about him in the past. So
yeah, I don't. My next 3 movies don't really go with that. So I'll go with the one that's sort of horror centric. Sort of continue with that. So I haven't watched all these yet. I plan on watching some of them soon. So I'll probably be bringing this back on over.
Okay, rookie.
It's the Vincent Price collection. I watched.
It's Vincent Price.
Vincent Price. I haven't watched all of them yet because I finally got the first one.
Which masterpiece did you watch?
I watched The Mask of the Red Death because I had never seen. I've seen most of these other than I've never seen Mask of the Red Death. And why I did that because I read the short story once again because I'm a
Greg reads.
Yes, I'm a huge reader. And also
That's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do.
There you go. I don't know why you're screaming yourself, but
I meant to go gay.
No, I was reading some Edgar Allan Poe poetry one day, and I decided to reread The Mask of the Red Death, and I remembered I had this, and I was like, oh, so I'll watch the movie. So I watched the movie, and the movie is pretty good. I like the movie. I like the movie, but I do think it fails in one aspect of the story. Considering the story is only like 3 pages long, so the movie's like an hour and a half, so they have to add to it. But I think they failed one aspect of it, and that is the foreboding that is coming from the Red Death. That's where I feel like they do it because, like, so how should I explain this? Should I explain the movie first? I guess. So I guess I'll do the movie first. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll do the movie. So the movie is Vincent Price plays Prince Prospero, right? He's basically this evil prince who rules over this land, and he doesn't really give a shit about his people and everything. He actually worships Satan, by the way. And the little countryside villages where he rules over has been struck with the Red Death, sort of like a plague, right? They start bleeding and they die. And so he takes a liking to one of the women villagers, who's a little pretty redhead, and he locks up her father and her boyfriend and takes her back to his castle, and he burns down her village, and he wants to turn her to the side of Satan, and he's in this gaudy castle, extravagant, with these rich people that will do whatever he tells them to do. And there's this guy cloaked in red that they show in the beginning of the movie that starts Red Death, and he shows up, and that's where the punishment begins, which is great. The movie is great. It's very, like we mentioned earlier, it's a little like Hammer horror. It's Vincent Price. It's what's his name directed it to? Roger Corman. Roger Corman directed it. Roger Corman directed and wrote it because he was big with the Poe. He had a lot of rights to the Poe, Edgar Allan Poe stories and everything. Yeah, so that was Paul McCartney's girlfriend. It's interesting. And on this, speaking of which, on this, it has two versions of the Mask of the Red Death. It has a theatrical cut and the extended cut. And I'm not sure what the big differences are, other than maybe a little boobage. There might be a slight nipple shown of the redhead. Other than that, I don't know what the big differences are. Now, where I think the movie fails, where the book succeeds, the short story succeeds, is Poe really builds this sense of foreboding, like something is coming, something is going to take this evil prince and these rich people who are held up in this cabin, avoiding this plague of the Red Death and letting the people die while they party, throw a masquerade party and gaudy castles with gold and all that's like that. Like Edgar Allan Poe sets up this really great foreboding, like something's coming, which they leave it out of the movie, is like there's these 4 rooms. One is all yellow, one is all purple, one is all white, and one is all black, which is actually in the movie. Those are all in the room, all in the movie. But the black room in the book says there's a clock in there, and every time the clock strikes at the hour, it's like everybody stops doing what they're doing. They stop dancing, the music stops playing, and they kind of like get this creepy vibe because of the sound the clock makes, and nobody dares enters the black room. And then when the clock strikes midnight, a man dressed in red starts appearing at the masquerade, and everybody is confused who this is, and it starts creeping them the shit out, and they all like part like the seas, and then in the middle of the rooms are the Prince Prospero and the red man in red, and that's when he punishes, punish him. That's foreboding. That doesn't happen in the movie, which I missed that in the movie. But other than that, because they show the guy in the red right at the very beginning of the movie, so you already know he's coming. But the movie nails it with Vincent Price as Prince Prospero, as this evil prince and what he does, and the people in the castle hiding out from the Red Death and won't leaving and partying in these extravagant rooms and everything, and all that. So yeah, it's really good in that sense. I liked it, and I plan on watching some of the other ones on here that I haven't watched in a long time. If I would have had more time, I would have watched more, but I read The Mask of the Red Death and I decided to watch the movie. So yeah, there you have it. That's what I watched. Extended cut, probably more bloody and gore. There's really not really much blood or gore in the movie at all. I did the girl in the she's in the bathtub in the movie. He puts her in the bathtub, and you do get to see a part of her. You do get to see her nipple, so that's why I figured. Because
I think the codes in the U.S. were a little more strict.
Yeah, that's why I figured it was,
because there's usually a U.S. and a U.K. cut on these Hammer films.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I figured. I figured because usually those type of movies, yes, Roger Corman excelled at getting a very attractive woman, and it wasn't until like the 80s when he started showing lots of nudity in his movies. That's when he really leaned into that. Late 70s into the 80s, he leaned into that. So he was very good at getting attractive women. So I figured that was, if for 1960, whatever that was made in, showing a little bit of a boob and a nipple like that, it was a little out of place, I felt. So I figured that was one of the reasons that part of the extended cut. And there's really not much blood or gore to it. But anyways, yeah, I read, and I watched Mask of the Red Death. So that's what
I thought you were going to read us all 3 of the pages of the poem.
No, it's a story. It's a short story. So it's like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Let's hear it.
I would take me a while to read it.
Oh, for Pete's sake!
Because it's a very, very, like, he describes each room in detail, and he describes everything in detail. The poems are in the back of the book, and they're like, my airline, my sweet airline, how I call for the name, and all that, you know. So, or not airline, what is it? Abigail Lee or something like that. Annabelle Lee. Sorry, my sweet Annabelle Lee.
Well, it does sound like it's hell of a house party.
It is. It turns into quite the Red Death. Yes, I know it's not Hammer. It's American International Pictures, but it feels sort of like Hammer. So I know that, Tim. So yeah.
Oh well, then I don't know why there's a difference. Then who fucking knows?
Who knows?
But yeah, speaking of house parties.
Yeah, speaking of which,
I brought on House Party because I got the 4K.
Nice.
Here. I can see it.
I forgot that was even out, or I would have got it.
I would normally wait for the sale price, but this is one of them I just didn't want to wait for.
Yeah, I don't blame.
But again, this fucking art,
yeah,
I tell you, it's not as bad as the Wiz, but it looks like that. You know, when you take a picture and you put it in a picture program and say make it poster or art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
That's what it does.
How hard was it just to recreate this? Or you know what? If you're gonna not do that, they got this on the inside. That would have been infinitely more
great,
comparatively, right? And then because otherwise, there's nothing, just blue. It says House Party, but you could have given us like Criterion. You need to start if you're gonna keep doing this shit. Look, I get it. Some people think it's cool, it's hip, it's whatever. No, it's fucking dumb. It looks bad. It looks cheap. You know what? These at this point, this is just getting overly pretentious. Now, their older covers just reminded me of those cheap bastard VHSs you used to find that were the EP speed. Yeah. Like, that's why I never liked their old covers. Like, Criterion, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Their covers have always been shit. Okay? They've always been shit.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. The only exception might be Night of the Living Dead. That's like the only one that doesn't bother me all that much.
In the David Lynch movies, because they're all his original posters.
If they're the original posters, they're fine.
Yeah.
But again, they're inconsistent. Like, we have no slip cover. Sometimes they have the box thing. Sometimes they don't. There's no consistency with Criterion, and I don't know who's running shit over there. But anyhow, the disc itself, the release, I'm glad, because this has never even got a Blu-ray, guys. Like, that's the travesty of this. But this looks amazing. An excellent fucking scan of the negative. From beginning to end, looks amazing. It says it's the 4.0 original mix, but it comes through as 5.1 on my system. I don't know. But there's no other soundtracks on here, which is another oddball for Criterion.
Yeah.
Usually they always have the stereo and a 5.1 remix if there is one. But in this case, all you get is that 4.0 mix. But you got an audio commentary with the director, Reginald Hudland. You get, okay. Here's the ups and downs. The commentary's good.
Mm-hmm.
The interviews are okay, but they really, 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 really lean into the social messaging stuff. But at least they acknowledge that they were able to pull it off at that time without beating you over the fucking head with it.
Right.
Like, they even point out that, like, every little message that's in there that they directly put in there, they made it part of the story and made it, like, even in some cases, made it a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, just like every other guy in modern day, he had to apologize for the gay humor.
Of course.
Of course. But,
Even the
I mean, no,
That's funny.
a lot of people talk about, modern day this, that, and the other, and representation and all that. The one thing they are right about there in this is that the fact this was a movie that probably normally wouldn't have been made, especially the way it was made, if it wasn't for a company like New Line Cinema taking a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, outside of like a few films and a few places, to make a movie like this specifically was unheard of, but it also opened up a floodgates of not only a new genre, but a new era of black made and led films. Right. So this played a major role in that, because this was not a Boys in the Hood. This wasn't some crime drama. This was a fun comedy.
Yep.
And it's funny because I've learned a lot about this movie that I never knew about, because unfortunately they never had any special features prior to this, and very little out there about it. Mm-hmm. But it was actually based on a short film from 1983 that Reginald did in film school. Oh, that is on here, which is cool.
Nice.
And like 90% of what's in that short film ends up in the movie, but it's a completely different tone. Mm-hmm. Obviously none of the same actors or anything like that.
Right.
And originally they were going to make the movie with lesser known rappers that were on their way up. In fact, I think a couple of them are still in the movie. But they were, believe it or not, told by New Line to go after the Fresh Prince.
What?
Because they had just gotten done suing his ass. And I know that doesn't make any sense to anybody, but it does in Hollywood, because once you sue somebody, you can make a deal and make shit go away and make it all happy for everybody and blah, 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 blah. So you guys are probably wondering, what the fuck did Will Smith get sued for? Remember Nightmare on My Street?
Yep.
Because they used the Charles Bernstein theme. Mm-hmm. But it was all worked out or whatever eventually. I don't remember if it was in court or out of court that it was sorted out, but it doesn't matter. At that point, Will Smith was not interested in working with New Line Cinema.
Not in at that point.
And not only that, his agent said, we have much bigger plans for Mr. Smith, which this is also the same time period when The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air took off. Mm-hmm. So that's probably what they were talking about. And I don't blame them. If you got a TV show as opposed to a movie that could be a hit, who knows, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to take the fucking TV show. Right. So I don't blame Will Smith on that one. But then the next one up was Kid and Play comes in. And New Line's like, who? Well, needless to say, the first meeting did not go well. And Play, on the other hand, he was not into it. He did not want to do it at all. He's like, motherfuckers, we make more money touring than what they're going to pay us to do this for a month. And the two of the other members, including Kid, who were part of the group, outvoted him. So that's why they did the movie. But New Line wasn't interested in them until, because they're like, good to meet you guys. Sorry it's not working out. We'll see you out. The executive walked them out downstairs and they hit the street, and of course they got fucking mobbed like the Beatles.
Yeah.
Because they're Kid and fucking Play.
That always works.
Because of course these executives have no fucking clue who they are.
Yeah.
But if you knew in 1980, let me tell you what. I only knew a few. I'm a white boy from the Midwest.
Yep.
At this time period, I only knew of a few rappers. I knew of the 2 Live Crew, because they were everywhere, because everybody was talking about them because of what they were and what they did and what they said. Mm-hmm. The Fresh Prince.
Yep. Yep.
LL Cool J.
Yep.
And Kid and Play. Yep. Vanilla Ice as well. That was the fifth one.
Not that he counts, but
he doesn't count in this equation. Yeah. Other than that, like I was kind of aware of NWA. I was aware of some of the more hardcore guys, but outside of 2 Live Crew, they had kind of rose to the top at that point, as far as like getting the most exposure. And
MC
their
Hammer,
album,
MC Hammer.
True MC Hammer with Vanilla, like they're just synonymous in a way. Yeah. Like anybody like that, like, right? Like, So there was not a ton of rappers that were well known, but like Kid and Play, because of Kid's fucking hair.
Yeah.
And they had a very clean act to them, just like the Fresh Prince. So they would get a little bit more exposure than, you know, all the other guys would in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a marriage made in heaven. And it's weird because the movie almost, I'm sorry, Six, but this is what the show is.
Yeah,
it almost feels like this movie was made for them right at the same time. But it's weird knowing that years before, when they were probably still in high school or younger, this was already percolating. And the song, a song by Luther Vandross that kicks off the movie was the actual inspiration for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Reginald just wanted to show what it was like to be a part of this world that wasn't, you know, about the drugs, the gangs, the sex, the violence, all that kind of shit. Even to the point where, and this is where Reginald's good at this, and he makes some good points in the commentary. He even knows how to handle violence in comedy, which is something that most directors don't know how to do. And that's why a lot of times when somebody gets punched or hit, it comes off awkward in a comedy, because guess what? Punches aren't funny.
Mm-mm.
Kicks in the balls are funny. Punches in the guts can be funny. But punches in the face 9.99999 times out of 10 are not funny, unless there's one exception. It's a kid punching an adult.
Yeah.
Because for some reason it just never, because you care about that character. You don't want to see them get punched. We know Kid gets punched in this movie, but guess what? You never see a punch land.
Right.
It's always everybody's reaction. And I'm like, that's it. Motherfucker cracked the code back in 1990. And everybody else needs to pay attention now, who's ever done violence in any kind of fucking comedies in the future from here on out. Like, there's a lot of movies that have failed in that arena when it comes to that. That's the one time where they stumble. And there's the key, is never show the punches. You can have them happen off screen. You show the reactions. You make the reactions as ooh and cringe as you want. That's what sells the comedy then. Because guess what? Somebody getting punched usually is not a big fucking deal. But it feels like a bigger deal. Right. Honestly, I'd rather have somebody punch me in the face 9 times out of 10 than kick me in the nuts. But you and me and both, everybody knows seeing somebody get kicked in the nuts is fucking funny. That's why in Idiocracy, they have a whole show called Ouch My Balls. Yeah. Getting kicked in the ass, infinitely funnier sometimes. Getting shot in the ass, even better. That has happened in at least 5 movies, and it's not funny, and every time it fucking happens. Yeah.
It's always ass.
Every foot, like a fart, is generally funny, no matter how. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. See, that's the only exception. But see, they never punch each other. They never punch themselves. You ever notice that? It's never a punch in the face. It's always a slap or a poke. There's a punch to the gut once in a while, but that's about it. I cannot recall ever seeing a stooge punch another stooge in the face like an actual punch.
No, it's like always like a bonk on the head or something.
That's a rare exception, but that's because of how the joke is set up. And you can get away with that too, probably with a woman, right? You know what I mean? A scene with a woman punching a dude in a comedy. It has to be handled so pitch perfectly. But see, the thing with indie is it works because indie is not a comedy. See, I think that's the reason why, if I have to jump in on that one, because we've already seen indie punch how many fucking people. You've seen him shoot how many fucking people, you know, all that kind of stuff, like those kind of things. So when those kind of moments come in, they can be laughed at in an action film, in a you know, one of those kind of things. But in a comedy, it's so fucking difficult. Mm-hmm. It is so difficult. Well, at this day and age, 6, I've been punched in the face a few times. I've been kicked in the nuts a few times. I'll take the punch to the face usually.
Yeah, I'd take the punch to the face too.
But yeah, so Robin Harris, yeah, that's the other thing, is they got him, and that was a luck of the draw. And, you know, he completely helped with the tone, especially if you see the short film. Mm-hmm. Because the short film is meant to be funny, but you're like, okay, it's just not quite there. But then once you get to the movie, Reginald's been working on enough stuff that he's figured it out. He's cracked the code.
Right.
And he shoots a comedy so brilliantly. And he didn't do any of the sequels. He went on from here to work with like Eddie Murphy on Boomerang and all this other kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's not like the guy doesn't have... In fact, I think he's still working to this day. I think he just directed... Did he do the... Was he the one who did the Dolomite movie? He might have been. He might have even been the one that directed Beverly Hills Cop 4 for all I fucking know, too. But yeah, I mean, that's the only other thing, though, is in some of the interviews, they do lean into a lot of that SJW-ish kind of stuff. It doesn't get as bad as some of the other ones because they do actually have a right to talk about it.
Right.
But then, of course, the girls are the other thing because Tisha Campbell, believe it or not, outside of, you know, basically Robin Harris was the most established actor at the time.
Mm-hmm.
John Witherspoon had done stuff, but he was more of a B level kind of actor, had done a few things, but nothing of extreme. I'm trying to remember if he did any major stuff back in the 70s or not. Somebody remind me. But I mean, even then, like, he was just kind of another one of Reggie's usuals. He said, like Reggie said, I don't think he's made anything that didn't have John Witherspoon in it until he died.
Exactly.
So like, yeah. So,
which is funny because I don't know if they don't mean to interrupt you here, but do they talk about how this movie influenced the movie Friday?
Oh, absolutely. They talk about that. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I was saying. It opened a whole genre, right? And Friday being, you know, an obvious example of it. Yeah.
I was watching when I brought on Friday how long ago, which we're supposed to be getting 4K of that. Ice Cube was talking about how he was watching House and Play. He was watching House Party in his bus or whatever with his people, and he's like, you know, why can't we make movies like that? You know, where it's, you know, a day in the life in the hood, where it's not about like the gang violence and all that, you know, like you were just like the NW, you know, like you were mentioned before, which he was a part of, like with the NWA and all that. But like he was like, that was House Party, and those movies were the inspiration for Friday. So yeah.
Well, there were movies that were like not gang related, basically. You know what I mean? Like, because that was a lot of stuff that, like, look, there was a flood of black entertainment in the 90s, but you'd be hard pressed to find a lot that wasn't gang related, to be honest with you. Like that's kind of the problem. Kind of a lot like, you know, with the, you know, Italians and the mob movies, kind of the same thing. Yeah. But that being said, I mean, you got Full Force in here as well, right? Well, 3 of them anyway. Yeah. Of the 6, I think there was.
They don't look like high school students at all.
They don't, and I think they talk about that all the time. You know, I'm just sitting here. Why didn't you just play it off like motherfuckers kept getting held back?
Yeah, they failed a lot.
Duh! You could get away with doing each grade twice or 3 times before they get to a point where they'll kick your ass out. Like, especially back then. Like, oh God, I remember a lot of older people in high school still for a while. Then I think they started that rule where after a certain point they just start kicking your ass out. But like, but the funny thing about them is they brought it all to the table, man. Like they took one look at the script and they saw the potential in the script, but they hated their parts. Right. Because their parts were every basic bully. Mm-hmm. And like the only lines that they kind of had in the script were like, you know, get over here, I'm going to kick your ass, shit like that. So like, now we got to take this and we got to take it to the next level. So they came up with a little bit. And he's like, okay, I'm going to play this guy and I'm going to have this kind of attitude. I'm going to play this guy and I'll be the dumb guy. Okay. And then I'll be tiny and I'll do this voice through the whole thing, you know, like that.
Yeah.
And so they go in and they showed the guys what they had in mind. And they're like, that's brilliant. Do it in the movie. Well, if they went and took that as like, go ahead and change the rest of the fucking script, which they did. But lucky Reggie loved it. Right. Especially Pee-wee's shit. Like he's like, he came in with that voice and he's like, that was it. And I can't remember who he said Pee-wee's based, like Joe Pesci and somebody else, I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh shit. But he's like, yeah, it's just this voice, and he just started doing it, and it's yeah, and the whole "we're gonna kick their fucking ass." Yeah. So that whole thing was all them. I smell pussy. That whole thing is them. The whole fucking thing. And then I think they told Kid in that scene then, so later when we do that, say, well, you guys would know because you're a bunch of dicks or whatever, or something like that, or however he says it. Of course, we would smell like pussy to a bunch of dicks. That's what he says.
Yeah.
So like they told him to say that and all that kind of stuff. And Martin was another thing too. And Martin actually knew Kid and Play. Mm-hmm. So he got hired separately from them because Reggie knew him, but he didn't know at first that he had worked with Kid and Play at a Sears, I guess. So they knew each other already. And Martin was feeding everybody stuff, I guess. So he was like, and he came up with a bunch of his shit too on his own, like a good 80% of it. So like a lot of this movie was improvised, which is kind of not surprising,
cool.
but
yeah, when you see it and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't feel improvised, but it feels natural, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a very, Martin bringing what he's got to the table, the guys from Full Force bringing what they got, Kid bringing his charm and his, gee golly shucks humor, Play bringing his, Playboy humor.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got their piece, the girls got their bits too. You got the girl, the she's black, but she's also rich, so she comes from the other side of the tracks. And then you got the ghetto, hoochie mama. Yeah, you got everybody kind of represented here in their own ways without them being stereotypical or making fun of anybody in any way. Even Robin Harris as the typical hard-working black father, right? Like, all of it's there, but it's not a stereotype. And I even love how they handle the cops. And there's some of the better parts too, like, and just how they're handled. Because normally it's almost like they're too, I don't even know how to explain it. They're not abusive, but they're very condescending.
Yeah.
And the way they handle things. And it's just the joke. It's there. It's how it's brilliant in a way. It's like, no, these guys could have went this other direction. You could have did this other thing, but instead they stayed in their lane. They knew what they were delivering, and they were rewarded for it. It was one of the highest grossing films. The only reason it didn't make more money that year for New Line is because Ninja Turtles made more money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this would have been the highest grossing movie that any other year for New Line Cinema, because it actually made more than the Nightmare on Elm Street movie did the year before. So, yeah.
I'm glad it looks good for the so.
I couldn't tell if there was any major. I mean, it feels fairly natural. I didn't notice any tweaking with it that stood out to me. Sounds good, looks good. So on that level, it's all good. For the special features, I wish there was some deleted scenes or something like that, perhaps. But there's not much you could really bitch about. You got the commentary, you got the interviews, you got the original short film here. It feels almost like a complete package. Maybe it's if there were some music videos that were done, I would wish they were here. But other than that, like, I can't really think of anything else that's kind of missing other than maybe it would be nice to have. Oh yeah, the other thing they have is like a reunion Skype thing or whatever you call it.
Oh yeah, like Zoom.
It was all right. It was like 40 minutes. Everybody's kind of getting nostalgic and just talking. There was a lot of insightful things in there, but nothing that I would say was of great value. But what happened to Kid and Play? Kid actually still works pretty consistently. In fact, if you've watched the show Real Time with Bill Maher, he does the music for that.
Yeah. And he's a voice actor too. So.
And he's a voice actor, and I think Play also does similar things with like either managing or producing. And
didn't he become a priest or something?
I think he also got into the ministry or something like that. I can't remember which, but
one point in time, I think. So yeah.
But yeah, they're doing their thing, and Kid still, I guess Kid does pretty well for what he does, and so yeah, he works more in the producing and doing music for like shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Captain Krypton wanted to know is the stuff on the blue or the disc there worse than the Alien documentary Memory?
Not exactly, because there's actually a basis for what they're talking about.
Right.
And some of the stuff is brought up by the interviewer, which at that point you just kind of roll your eyes, but I mean, they were on the ground level, right? Like this was the beginning of the next phase for black cinema. Like blaxploitation had ended. Horror was kind of starting to lean in that direction, and we were starting to see a few urban horror films.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you had action stars like Wesley Snipes and stuff like that, but that was mainstream. So like at this point, this was like the pump was primed and ready. Rap music was becoming more mainstream, because the thing with House Party is it wasn't just for black folks, right? Mm-hmm. It was for everybody. But the thing is that black people could actually go to the cinema and see themselves for the first time, not portrayed in the norm.
Yeah.
And this is the era where they actually started to see that. So a lot of the bullshit that they try to push now, like they're acting like they're the first, no, motherfuckers, they were doing this shit 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You're just
Well,
rehashing it again is all you're doing.
mhm.
Because, yeah, this is a very positive film as far as the black community goes. I mean, you got, like I said, the safe sex message that's shoved in there on purpose. There's a couple other things that they talk about that were shoved in here on purpose, the cop thing and some other stuff. But they were all done in ways that they didn't feel like they were being messages. Like, the one that comes close is pretty much the safe sex. But that was, like, in everything at that era. Like, you guys got to remember, this movie came out in the height of the AIDS thing. So, like, that was everywhere. Like, everything was, like, even, like, I think even some cartoons, I'm not doubt it. They must say, at that point, I wouldn't be surprised if some cartoons even started saying use a condom. Christ.
Yeah.
It was
They
on
might
every
have.
fucking show. Like, they had that special little thing after every fucking show where it's like, oh my God.
Practice it.
Yeah, safe sex, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, the one that was really big on it was the Corky show. What was it? Life Goes On.
Oh,
They had
yeah.
the character with AIDS on there. So they had, like, that whole, like, fucking episode about it.
Mhm.
And then there was, like, a whole little, like, sit-down, like, thing, like, afterwards. It was probably only, like, 5 minutes, but it felt like it was a half hour. Like, where they're
Yeah.
talking about all this stuff. It's like, okay, cool. But and I get it. It's important and people need to know about it. But I was, like, 10 at the time. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just want to watch TV.
It's true. It's true. And you watch it, you're like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. Can we get back to the show?
But yeah, hopefully House Party 2 gets a release. I know that's the third one. It gets zero love, but I don't hate the third one. I like it all right.
I don't hate the third one.
The
either.
second one, I actually, it has a little bit more, like, I don't know if I like it more than the first one, but it's one of those sequels that's almost as good as the first one.
Yeah.
And there's no real good reason why, because it's pretty much the same thing as the first movie. I don't know what it is. It's fine. I don't know what to say about it. Like, to hype it up more or to give you a good reason why it's that good. It's funny. It's got a lot of good moments in it.
Yeah.
It feels like a good sequel. I don't know why. It was timed well.
Yeah.
The third one was a couple years too late, and there's some things about it you're just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, but I think when we talked about it before is like what really makes the third movie and why I don't think it's a bad movie is oh my God, what's his name? It was
Oh, Bernie Mac, yeah.
Bernie Mac. Yes, I'll beat your ass because he
Because
comes
he
in.
plays his brother, yeah.
Yeah, he plays his kid's
Robin
dad's
Harris's brother.
and
Yeah.
it's like the perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, because the dad was such a good, great, hardworking dad. Of course, his brother would be Bernie Mac. It would come in like that. It just was
Yeah.
perfect because it was like kid and play. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it worked
No, yeah,
so well.
it was a good addition. Like, there's things that I like in that third film. There is an element of the third film that does feel very straight to video. But speaking of that, believe it or not, there is 2 more sequels to this. Or, well,
Yes.
a sequel and a remake.
Yeah.
And a sequel that was not a house party movie to begin with. But since it just happened to be about a couple of black youths throwing a party at a house, they slapped House Party 4 on it and
just
put
so
it out
happened-
on DVD.
Exactly. And it just so happened to be the same 3 kids from the third movie, just teenagers now. But even though they're not playing,
Was
the
it
same-
them?
Yeah, it's the same 3 kids that they're from the movie.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know that.
Yep, it's the same 3 kids that
I watched House
playing-
Party 4. I'm like, is this more like, because you can tell it's not meant to be a sequel to House Party.
Yeah, definitely.
It's meant because, like, the character talks to you like he's Ferris fucking Bueller.
Mm-hmm. It's more like Ferris Bueller than anything.
Yes. And I was like, because I saw that movie and I had no idea that was the case either. I never put 2 and 2 together. That's me. That's completely on me. But I'm just like, I've only seen House Party 4 once.
Yeah.
I used to own it when I had the video store, but I think I got rid of it because I don't have it to this day because there's no real reason to. Because it's not really, as far as I'm concerned, a house party movie.
Right.
And I have yet to see the HBO Max reboot, remake, whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
Yeah. So there you go, kids. That's where we're at with this franchise. Because, yeah, they also talk about the revival thing. And, yeah, I hope they let that alone. We don't need a house party 4-ish.
Yeah, don't do a legacy sequel where
No.
it's going to be crappy because
It's just going to be called House Party.
Yeah, exactly. Halloween, Scream, House Party. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
And it's going to be about kid and play and their kids having a house party while they're away.
Of course.
Uh,
Ugh. and they probably have daughters,
Of course.
which would make it a different play because they were guys and now they have daughters, and the house party is going to be different than what they would throw. So,
Well, at least with the third film, it makes sense because it's the bachelor party, right? Like
Right.
at that point, that's kind of another reason why I don't mind the third film is because they're advancing. The second film, as much as I enjoy it, like I just admitted, like it's basically the same fucking movie. Like what is different is that it's just on a grander scale and their dad's dead. Like
Yeah.
that's the difference. Kids in college. Yeah, there's a little bit more to it in the interplay of Clay's got to figure out how to get the money back, and all that kind of. It all feeds into it, but then that feeds into the party. I mean, it's okay. It does have a little bit. It has a different enough plot, but it's enough like the first movie that it works. And they don't change anything too much. It doesn't decide we're going to go PG-13 all of a sudden. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, even, it amps everything up a little bit like a sequel should. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a perfect 90s sequel as far as like, a B. Compared to the first film, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And the third film is a little more malign than it should be, in my opinion.
I agree. I like
a lot of the hate that it gets should be thrown at other films for sure.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was getting the hate for the third movie because that was about the time the Tupac and all of them were starting to get big. So like that type of rapping and that type of,
they even have some of that more gangster-ish kind of rap.
Yeah, they do. And that the third one they're kind of like gearing towards that. But I think that's like those rappers started to look down on the house party movies. You know what I mean? Like, man, these are jokes.
You had the same thing that happened to Will Smith for a while too, in a way. Like people forget that he wasn't it wasn't just before the slap. There was a long period back when in the 90s until he started doing shit like Independence Day and Men in Black where he was seen as a joke too. Not everybody loved the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Like they do now.
There was a time, believe it or not, like that type of rap music just wasn't considered cool by other black rappers.
And then you got the next time when he kind of fell out of favor again when Eminem decided to say, well, I don't have, whatever he says in his fucking rap song, so fuck him and fuck you, Will Smith or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember the song, but I know the song.
It reminds me of the joke from Family Guy that does it, where like Peter runs into it's like, oh cool, it's a bunch of 80s rappers. Then he goes, run 80s rappers, it's the 90s hip hoppers, run. It's like Tupac and all them coming in with their pants hanging and guns and everything.
Yeah. Well, that was a much different rap era, and that's where these guys came out of. I mean, even the Beastie Boys were a lot more hardcore. A lot of the black rappers at that time, people forget.
Yeah.
Like the Beastie Boys were kind of raunchy in comparison until you started getting to like NWA and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But,
yeah. All right. Well, I guess.
Yeah, so I can recommend it. I didn't wait for the sale. I should have, but
I don't blame you. If I would have got it.
Yeah, I wish they'd have got the trilogy though. That'd have been nice.
That would have been nice. Kind of like the Ninja Turtle trilogy. That would have been cool. New line.
Yeah, Arrow. I would have rather seen them do this and do that. If that was the case, because I'm not saying this isn't deserving of Criterion. It totally is, but
yeah, it's nice. All right. Well, keeping. I
guess if anything, I'll give it that they finally gave it the props it deserved.
Yeah, the
Criterion.
recognition and stuff. I get you. All right. Well, keeping it. I guess you could say. In the hood with music, I got Footloose.
Everybody cut. Oh, I remember that whole spiel. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember
when I knew it. And Bill Hunt and I got into it.
With the inner positive.
And he had to come back and eat some crow.
Yep. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing a Beastie Boys biopic. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
It'd have a shitty ending, but yeah.
Yeah, it's got a bad. Yeah, what happened to him? But no, I had brought this on before, and you've brought yours on before.
I have.
So, yeah, I watched. I just
Which sucks because that movie screams for 4K, and you got probably almost as bad or as worse than Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. When it comes to the scan.
Yeah, except they don't look plastic like Planes, Trains, and Automobile. They look plastic in that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's debatable because there is a lot of DNR on this still. Not as much
you're
as the
not wrong. You're
Blu-ray,
not wrong.
but yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But no, yeah, I just had a hankering to watch Kevin Bacon Boogie Down, and it's just to this movie how this movie resonated.
Did you finally find out who put the sticks in their butts?
No, I didn't. I never. Maybe it was just the townspeople. They were just. They had
That's
them
cruel.
sticks.
Who would put sticks in their butts?
I know.
Whole town was saved by a man named Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. I still think. I mean, not for nothing. I loved what's his name, Kurt Russell as his dad was incredible. But I still think it would have been kind of funny if Kevin Bacon played his dad as not Kevin Bacon, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have got the Christmas special. Have you seen the Christmas special?
I have not seen the Christmas special.
Oh my God, you
I don't
gotta
have
see
Disney Plus. I don't watch that.
Oh man, I'll have to hook you up with that somehow because that is almost better than the third. It is better than the third film. I'll be honest with you. And it sets you up for the third film. That's how you find out that they're brother and sister.
Yeah, I knew that.
Is in that short. Yeah, and they go and they kidnap Kevin Bacon for him for Christmas. It's fucking hilarious. It is great. I just wish it was a full-length movie. I'm like, oh man, because by the time it's over, you're like, shit, it's over already.
Nice. No, I have not. I don't do that. So I don't have Disney Plus. So no, I haven't seen it. It is funny.
I was kind of bummed that it wasn't a special feature on Guardians 3.
Oh, that would have been cool. Yeah.
Fuck, if not, release the damn thing. I'll buy it. It is fucking great. I mean, I watched it every Christmas except for this last because I didn't have. Well, I did technically have Disney Plus, but I didn't have a reason to watch. I didn't watch it at Christmas this year. Remember?
Yeah. You was boycotting it.
I was boycotting it.
Which I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. No, but it's just. I mean, this is one of those like '80s movies. Like, it's such a good movie, but also at the same time, you watch it now and you're like, how did this get made? You know, but then like it's such a damn good movie. Cause like you don't really think about it like you, cause I do, I know you do, and I do too. I live in a small town. You live in a small town, but you don't really think about how there was small towns where stuff like that was sort of illegal. Shoot, there's still small towns around here that won't sell booze on Sunday, and if you have a still, you will be arrested. Yeah. If you if you make moonshine.
This is also in a world before the internet, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing is people forget how cut off from the rest of the world a lot of smaller Midwestern towns were back in that era. I mean, that's the thing is this actual true story happened in the 60s, if I remember right. But it had no problem taking place in the modern time because it still worked in that era, because you're 100% right, because this town is a lot like the town I grew up in. I'm assuming it's a lot like the town you grew up in, where, I mean, you got just as many or twice as many churches as you do bars. And yeah, there's something about the power of the pulpit, or whatever you want to call it, when it comes to a preacher or a priest or a pastor.
I kind of wish the power of the pulpit was going on in my town today, to be honest with you.
Why did you guys have something happen today?
Oh, our town has been sold out and it's going to die. It's going because our mayor. This is legit. I should do like that Nick Fuentes stuff and go uptown and do that shit. Our mayor said, I live in a small. Think Mayberry. Honest to God, think Mayberry. Right. I live in a very, very small rural country town. Cows in my backyard. I live next to farm. Right. Okay. Our mayor and city council sold a massive chunk of like land for a mega site development, signed NDAs, skirted transparency laws, and will not tell the people what is being built there.
That's funny. We have a very, very, very similar thing going on right fucking now where I live. The city just sold a bunch of land for like $1 an acre to these. I don't even remember all the ins and outs, but it's this huge controversy going on right now.
Same here. They've had 2 meetings and they still won't tell people what it is because the mayor and all of them sold us out and signed NDAs and they're telling people. Now it's more than likely it's going to be a data processing plant, which is going to be very bad on our water and our electricity.
And it's not going to create many jobs either.
No, because it only needs like 20 people to run it. And 20 people ain't coming from this town. So
not likely.
Yeah. So if it's a data plant for like AI, matter of fact, data plant for AI.
Oh shit, that'll fuck your water.
Yeah. It's going to fuck our town up bad. Our town.
I just learned about that more recently. I had no idea about any of that shit. Now
Yeah.
But anyhow, so house party.
Footloose, anyways. Footloose.
Or Footloose, yeah, we're on Footloose, yeah.
Now I got.
Which there is a similarity there. Like there is a bounce off.
There's a similarity
because they can't have a house party.
No,
they try.
They're not. There's no dancing, no rock and roll music. It's the devils. It's the devils because the dancing and the rock and roll music leads to sex and drugs and alcohol and premarital babies. So,
well, the movie makes it believable, and I think it's pretty much what happened in the true story, right? Like, so I mean, and you gotta imagine, and that's kind of the point you were getting to, is when something like that happens in a small town, people overreact like a motherfucker, and they do fast and furiously. And if there's any way they can change certain laws or do certain things, they will do it. And that's how I can completely believe that there's still probably towns to this day that have either certain types of dancing or dancing illegal on the books. Like people forget that pinball machines used to be illegal.
Yeah. It's true. And people, you don't, unless you've lived in a small country town, you have no idea.
Now you got to ask why. Well, because of the mob.
Yes.
Not only that, people would gamble on for some fucking reason. And it's just stupid shit. People do and did. And then you get to a point where somebody's like, why do we follow that rule? It's so dumb. And that's kind of what this movie is too, is these kids finally get to a point where they're like, why do we follow that rule? It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Well, then there's the answer. And it's not wrong. It takes something that is as innocent as dancing, right? And puts it up against, regardless. And at this time, we didn't have fucking twerking. No. This is a couple years before Dirty Dancing, for fuck's sake, even though it existed.
Yeah.
But that's not what it was talking about. This is talking about, just kids getting together and having a good time, just like House Party, not hurting anybody. Can tragedies happen? Absolutely. When alcohol and drugs get involved, they can, especially with kids or anything else for that matter. Kids are going to be kids. Shit's going to happen. You can't stop that. And all you're going to do and that's the beauty of the film, is the messages. The only thing you need to stop by trying to make dancing illegal is just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's true, because it gets to the point where, like, even John Lithgow as the pastor who started us, because he's the one, he lost his son and some friends because they went out drinking and dancing, and that's why it all spirals. And it gets to the point where he sees the townspeople burning the library books, and he's like, this is not, I want to save us. I want us to be with God, but what you're doing is, like, he sees where he was wrong, because he sees he's got these people so worked up that they're going into a library and burning books that are not harmful at all. And that's when it finally clicks in, like, oh man, what have I done? What have I used my power to do? Because I was grieving in a way to where I forced this, these kids to not be able to dance and not to be able to do this and stuff like that. It's a great scene. It's a great, powerful scene in the movie. And it's a pretty solid flick, and who would have thought just building it around dancing like that? It works so well. And like you mentioned, like, people in cities and stuff don't really know what goes on out in these country towns. They have no clue. They're utterly clueless. And they can see that and they can laugh at that and say, like, like, that's ever happened. You know what? It happened. And it's still sort of happening in some towns today. And further out in the country you get. Trust me, it's happening. So, yeah, it's a great movie with great performances. Though if I was Kevin Bacon, if I was Ren, I don't know if I'd really want the preacher's daughter. She's got a lot of mileage on her. Just saying, she wasn't. There was some better girls in that town, but I mean, I guess he couldn't help who he became attracted to when he first got there. So, yeah, but no, I actually got some of these. Connected more to your movies than I thought I was going to connect to your movies when you told me the ones you had. So it was nice.
You just got to think it through.
You just got to think it through. I didn't even think like House Party and Footloose. Oh, duh. One is urban and one is white country folk. So, and a kid from Chicago who has lived in the urban area. It's like, to him, it's all like, what is this? World's upside down. So, and the tractor chicken thing is great. That's a great scene with I Need a Hero playing. Great scene. Great scene. Yeah, the Beastmaster. That's right. She is the sister of the Beastmaster. I forgot that. I forgot that's it. Yes. 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 It was a cultural phenomenon when yeah, it was. And the soundtrack is still solid. It's a solid soundtrack. That's one you could turn on and you can listen to. It's perfect. It's a perfect soundtrack. Almost. Great. Yeah, who would have thought Kenny Loggins? But yeah, anyways, I had a hankering. Yeah, the 4K isn't the greatest, as Tom pointed out.
It's horrible. It's fucking wretched.
A positive, I believe you said, not an actual negative like they promised it did, and turned out it was an inner positive. So
I don't know who actually ever really promised it, to be honest with you, but once I watched it, I could tell right off the bat something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I reached out to Bill Hunt. He was adamant that it came from the negative. I said, "Are you sure?" He argued with me some more about it. And then a couple days later, he come back with an apology note saying, "Yeah, you were right. It actually comes from the inner positive. I'm wrong." And I think he reflected that in his review.
And it's kind of weird. I mean, yeah, it's a Paramount movie, but they don't have the negative. What's up with that?
They have it, I'm sure. For some reason, I don't know why. They probably scanned the inner positive for the anniversary Blu-ray in 4K. So they just slapped that on the fucking 4K Blu-ray is what they did.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't even know if the complaints even reached them to where they're going to ever do anything about it. Same thing with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Because there's this era of time, and Fox was doing the same thing, and some others where they were scanning the inner positives for everything like they always were. They started doing them in 4K.
Mm-hmm.
So we've getting a lot of those Fox releases, earlier ones, depending on the movie, sometimes they're from an inner positive, not the negative. So you got to keep that in mind. So I don't know. Will they ever fix it? Doubtful.
Probably not. They got him out, so
and maybe for the next 10-year anniversary, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, this was the 40th anniversary of Footloose, so I doubt they're going to be pressing new 4Ks with the new 4Ks anytime soon. Maybe, like you said, 10 years. Maybe when it's the 50th anniversary.
I'm trying to think: has Paramount ever really fixed anything in the past? No,
not really.
I still have a fucked up Escape from LA disc. They still have not fixed. I still have what else do I have fucked up that they haven't fixed? I know there's a couple of them. Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could think of 5 more if I sat here long enough, but yeah.
All right, well, but that's
unlike Universal and Sony or any of the others, even Warner Brothers, I think, has gone back and tweaked some things when they've had to. But sorry, you were saying.
No, that's all I had for Footloose. It's a great movie. Kevin Bacon gives a great performance. Chris Penn is good in this, and he is really skinny in this movie. Sarah Jessica Parker is actually standable. She looks somewhat normal in this movie, before her face looked like a weird face from the other show she was in. But yeah, no, it's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's fun.
What's sad about it is, from my understanding, is Paramount actually has one of the better vault systems.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're still finding stuff here and there once in a while for movies like The Godfather and stuff from like 50 some years ago. Most of their modern stuff, from what I know, they have pretty much everything where they need it and accessible.
Right.
Like, that's why it wasn't that big of a deal to do like the Star Trek Director's Edition and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So, like, and I've seen I haven't seen it personally, but I've seen it on video and stuff. They have a pretty extensive vault where they have it and all that stuff in there, and it's all there. And they've been going through a lot of the older stuff, so I'm sure they got the negative and it's in fine shape. They just didn't fucking scan it for that 35th anniversary disc or 30th anniversary disc that is the same scan they used for this 4K. Paramount got lazy on it for some reason. I don't know why.
They figured we already had the inner positive out. Why bother? So we'll just do 4K that way.
And like I said, I wouldn't care if like they would fix it at some point, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah. All right.
And
Well,
I know a lot of people give me shit for a lot of this stuff, but it's like, look, this is the version of, and I love it because this is where the Idealistic Crusader and I see eye to eye on this, and I know you agree, Greg. These are the versions that people are going to see for the next X amount of like years. Like, you guys got to really understand that. There was a lot of people who thought video was the end of the line. No, this is the end of the line. There is no further than this. There is not going to be any other process from here on out that you're going to be able to view movies any better than this. I guarantee it.
There's going to be no 8K disc. No 8K.
There's no reason for it.
Yeah.
You cannot, the human eye would never be able to tell the difference unless you're watching a scan of like a 70 millimeter film compared to a 35 millimeter film. Maybe.
Yeah.
And we're talking so minimal at that point that, like, look, 4K is where it's at as far as, like, these are the versions that they're, and the reason I say this is because they're actually going back and doing the work for a lot of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time, but sometimes they are. And that's why I'm saying this is it. They're not going to go back and mess with them again. So, like, when they do these 4K scans, they scan the negative. They are reconstructing the film from top to bottom in a digital form. And then that new master is the new master. That's what people need to understand. Like, they list these now on IMDb. Meaning that's it. That's the new master now.
Yep.
So my point is going forward, anytime they re-release these movies from here on out, that 4K master that they're doing now is most likely going to be the basis for whatever happens in the next 50 years, unless they go back to the negatives. And I hope to God we see what I'm talking about when Kill Bill The Whole Bloody Affair comes out, because I'm fairly certain from my screening in theaters that they rescan the negative for that version.
Right.
And you will see the big, huge difference between movies in that era, even if they were shot on film, scanned digitally, done in a digital 2K process, and how bad they look compared to what an actual film negative looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to make a difference. And there's movies that I keep getting all the time still where I'm still pissed that they're just up converts of the fucking 2K inner positive.
Yep. That's why I haven't updated, like, when I brought on the It movies and some of their stuff like that. Is like, that's why some of them I have not updated to 4K, because, like, they're just
those were shot digitally for
they're shot digitally, and they're 2K up converts, and there's like,
I don't know about part 2, but I'm pretty sure the first one was an up convert.
Yeah, so, like, I'm not in a rush to do that. I'm to do stuff like that. Not some of the other movies like you were talking about where they were shot on film and then converted to digital and then had a 2K up convert, stuff like that.
And I know it's a pain in the ass for those, but they should. They need to go back and rescan those motherfuckers. Just like you're doing for the old movies.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't have bought Jason X if I would have known that's what they basically put on there. Right.
And I feel like I was misled by Arrow because I feel like you had what is considered the quote unquote negative master or whatever it is that you put in there, but it's not what you think it is. It is a 2K output because if you watch the original, and I showed it on here, you watch the original making of Die, and I think they even still have it on this disc where they talk about it. And you can tell just by watching the film, especially if you watch it up against Jason Goes to Hell. Because Jason Goes to Hell looks fucking amazing.
It does. It looks. I know people hate that one because Jason, like you said, Jason X is outselling that one. But by Jason Goes to Hell,
best looking one.
It looks way better.
So far, it's the best looking Friday the 13th movie in 4K, or however you want to say it.
I think also Adam might have something to do with that, so I'm glad.
I can't wait till that documentary, man.
Hey, speaking of which, the Synapse is putting that out.
Yeah, hopefully I still get mine. I gave him like
you'll get yours
$200 like years ago. I got my signed picture, but
yeah, you guys should get that first before the Synapse release, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So
we're supposed to get a digital version of it too. I'm like, where's my digital version? I can watch it now.
Be nice.
I just missed out on the Metal Mask. I was so pissed.
That would have been cool, wouldn't it? That would have been awesome.
Yeah. He only had 3 of those.
Oh, damn. But no, that's it. Footloose is an incredible movie. Regardless, it's just one of those timeless classics. Great flick. Still resonates today. You can laugh about it or whatever, about dancing and everything, but once you get into that movie, it's just like you get it completely. So it's a good movie. So to you, Tom, your final pick of the night whenever you are ready.
Well, it's technically 2 picks
Yeah.
because I'll do it this way. All I can be documentaries, and I actually talked to these guys before. So the guys that made the Turtle Power documentary went on to make a He-Man documentary called Power of Grayskull, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And yeah, it's a really excellent documentary that covers the life of Masters of the Universe up till basically the modern era. It's like up through before the Kevin Smith stuff, basically in the She-Ra reboot. So yeah, it's a really good, in-depth, no holds barred kind of documentary because it was made, I want to say a couple years ago now, 2018. So yeah, it was in the beginning of woke, but it wasn't woke. So you actually have shit in here where they talk about how She-Ra basically killed the brand.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't her being added to the show, it was the fucking toy. And that's like where the movie, where the doc kind of takes the turn as far as like, you know, the downturn of the franchise, but it covers everything it can up to that point. And yeah, I even used that clip in the video we just dropped before I jumped on this show here. So if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, like, it's a great documentary. It has interviews from any living person you could think of that had anything to do with He-Man, the Masters of the Universe at one point or another. Several people, not several, but a couple people I actually know. Some I don't, but some I wish I didn't. But no Kevin Smith. That's
no Kevin Smith, right? Thank God. He was never a fan anyways.
No, and of course they also have a bunch of extended deleted scenes, which actually had some neat stuff I never knew before in it. Because I've seen this documentary before, but I just got this disc. I don't know if Vinegar Syndrome just released this or well, it's through one of their, labels.
Partner labels.
Yeah, ETR or something like that.
I
don't know if this is brand new or if it's been out and they just re-released it in their deal. But yeah.
Yeah, ETR.
I missed out on the slipcover. That's all I know.
Yeah. ETR is one of their partner labels. Yeah. As far as I can.
So yeah, I don't know if it's a newer release of the older documentary or if it's an old release just put up on their site for the sale or whatever, but finally got my hands on it.
Nice.
And yeah, it's definitely worth it if you're a He-Man fan. I wish Turtle Power would get a release like this.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. And not only that, you get kind of some insight into the making of the 87 movie in there as well. Which I happen to have right here in the old DVD. The old Blu-ray.
That's one I still have.
And the Umbrella Blu-ray.
No, I still haven't got that one.
Well, I mean, unless you want it for the swag and the special features, as far as I could tell, it was pretty much the same scan. It looks like it might be at a little bit higher bit rate or a little bit better disc mastering process because it's not as... It does look slightly better than the other version, but you can tell it's obviously still the same scan. They haven't like rescanned it or anything like that. But yeah, it's in this very bulky package with all this slip cover and all this business. It's a very tight slip cover.
That's what she said.
Ooh. Tighter than a condom. And you get a book with it and some lobby cards as well. So yeah, you get a nice little package here from Umbrella, which it has to be imported, but it is region free. But what do you get for special features? Okay, you get the original audio commentary that's been on it since back on the DVD days with the director, which it's informative. I'm not going to say it's not. But you also get a whole shit ton of outtakes from Electric Boogaloo that run about 90 minutes about the making of the movie that are pretty informative. Yes. There's an interview with Albert Pyun about his unmade sequel. You get the original featurette, EPK. You get a whole reel for some reason of classic sci-fi and fantasy films that Masters of the Universe just happens to be in for some reason. But you get them all.
I'll take it.
Right? You get the teaser and the theatrical trailer, so that rounds out the package. So yeah, it's a nice little package. Too bad it's not 4K.
Yeah,
it deserves a 4K scan. But yes, of course, since the new trailer dropped for the or the teaser dropped for the new film,
I know you're super excited about it.
Oh, am I? I wish I was. I hope it's good. And it might not be nearly as bad as I'm dreading, but frankly, I mean, if anything, just watch the video Andre and I just dropped tonight, because that basically covers a lot of my feelings on it. And what's great is in this interview, in the documentary, they do talk about how Masters of the Universe was not meant to be this campy, gay thing that everybody thinks it is.
Yeah, like everybody, that's what I was like, I'm seeing jokes about that. I'm like, oh, I hate when they play into the Twitter social media jokes like, hey, it's like, please, I don't want to see that in a He-Man movie.
No.
I don't want to see that.
Like, and I get it. People are like, oh, you're just overreacting over the he-him thing. It's just a joke. I was like, no, you guys are misunderstanding why I'm overreacting. I don't give a shit about the he-him joke. It is funny, but if you're going to make it funny, why isn't it he-man like you posted?
Exactly. The joke fell flat, period.
it falls flat. Not only that, it's a joke for a trailer at best. You don't put that in a fucking movie. You can do that in a trailer. You can do that in a skit. You know, that would be a funny SNL skit. He-Man stuck in an HR department.
Yeah.
Like, that would be funny. But that's not He-Man. That's not a movie. And the last fucking thing, because of movies like this, the original one, because look, I will say I love this movie unapologetically.
Me too.
But because of this movie, there's no reason this new movie should happen on Earth. Because that's what's wrong with this movie.
Exactly. Everybody wants to see Eternia. They don't want to see Thor, Love and Thunder, or Thor.
Exactly.
Whatever. They want to see He-Man and Eternia fighting Skeletor. And that's why I said, even when I saw the trailer, is like everybody's like, "Oh, you knew they were going to make a he-him joke." No, they didn't have to. They did not. Yes, his name is He-Man. They didn't have to make that joke. The joke fell flat. Don't try to defend it. It's a pointless joke. And also, he's not going to be He-Man until like the last 30 minutes of the film.
Or at least 45 minutes in, I bet, and maybe twice in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And not only that, why does he look the same?
It's just that I hated that joke with him trying to get that sword.
Yeah. Well, not only that, he looks the same. Like, are they you know they're going to make a joke about it, but it's like, you do realize that the reason why Prince Adam and He-Man look the same in the toys in the original series is because costs. Motherfucker. Back then, that was why. And kids didn't care. Right? Yes, I get it. There's certain elements of the show that if you hold them up to a certain standard by today's lenses, aren't going to hold up. That's fine. Those things you can move forward and change a little bit, like the 2000 series. That's a great example of how you take He-Man fucking seriously. And that's not saying that the original show was in any way campy or funny. Yes, it had funny moments. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But at no time is it camp. At no time is it poking fun at any of the characters. He-Man himself is not treated as a joke.
Nope.
Yes, Orko will fuck something up, and Man-at-Arms is always the one who gets the butt of it.
Yeah.
But that's a joke. It's set up that way. It's not a campy joke. Batman 66 is camp. That is camp. When he walks into a bar and he says, "Oh, I'm just going to hang out the bar so I don't seem, so I seem less conspicuous," like the scene I used in the thing. Yeah. Duh! It's a joke!
Batman, everybody's going to know it.
But he's saying it sincerely.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like that's like the same joke I say about what's wrong with the Batman. The fact that the Batman knocks, for one. Because no other Batman knocks besides Adam West. And you know why he knocks? Because he would say, we are deputized crime fighters. We have to knock.
Yeah.
That's why. Because it would be funny and campy and tongue-in-cheek. And not only that, camp really leans into gay. Which is another thing, which is why they associate gayness. Look, on the surface level, since everything's called He-Man, this man, that man, whatever, I can see where you can get that from. But guess what? There was 3 or 4 other women characters that didn't make the cut. Because they knew boys wouldn't play with girl dolls. And guess what? One of them was called Woman. Like, that's how this thing... Like, they were at a point where they're like, we can't have a character called Seaman.
Yeah. I mean, Fisto made the movie. So.
That's the thing, is they knew if they wanted this to be some gay allegory, fucking Merman would be called Seaman. Okay? That was his original fucking name. They knew they couldn't go with that. But until they had something better, that was just the standard. They're like, we know this guy's a fucking like, he's an aquatic guy. And finally, somebody with some brains popped up and said, just call him fucking Merman. Like, so it's like, look, yes, did this come? People misunderstand how He-Man even started, and that's the beauty of the documentary, is that it goes through the beginnings, it goes through the Conan stuff, it goes through both sides of it, how it could be both possible that Mattel tried to snuff out that toy line in instead for doing Masters of the Universe. It could have been the inspiration for it. It may have had nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, He-Man is basically Conan meets Star Wars.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not meant to be anything funny or hokey. The inspiration for the look comes from the old Frank Frazetta paintings of Conan and other barbarians.
Yep.
And translate that into animation is not going to be easy. So they had to kind of take that idea plus what the toys looked like and create something in a animated form that wasn't going to cost them a fucking fortune.
Yeah.
Because here's the beauty of it, is it's in this, I think they have it in this documentary, but it's out there on YouTube. You can find it. The original commercial for He-Man that Filmation animated that got them this job in the first place. That looks like it was animated by Disney. Mm-hmm. So that right there just goes to show you the difference between the amount of money they probably had for one 30-second commercial was probably the same amount of money that they got for like 2 or 3 episodes of the show.
Right.
To do. Because that's the thing, is Filmation had to make this and every other one of their shows because they did everything in-house in America. So they tried to keep all the jobs in-house, and He-Man was a type of show that was one of the first syndicated shows like that, and it was the first show based on a toy. So he got in at the ground level on that and knew that there was something here, but because of that, they had to make sure that it was not violent in any way. It had no, any kind of messaging that wasn't positive. So that's how I know for a fact there was no gay shit put in there on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the last thing they would fucking need, is the ire of that. When they're already trying to make sure that He-Man doesn't punch anybody.
Yeah.
But I just watched the first season of He-Man and the Masters Universe, and I'm still stretching to find any camp, still stretching to find anything that comes off as, in any way, shape, or form, the way that people like to portray that show. But you know and I know that once we get into that movie, not only we're going to get that pronoun joke, we're going to get a what's going on joke, we're going to get a until next time joke, we're going to get every other fucking meme that we've had between then and now because of He-Man. I laugh at them just like everybody else. I use them just like everybody else. But they're funny because that's not the fucking show.
Exactly. That's what I hate, because it's as bad as, like you was talking about, how you've talked about before. It's as bad as when they like swing joke in the Turtles and stuff, because you're using internet culture jokes in these movies, and some people, whether you believe it or not, aren't always on social media. They're not always on Twitter. They may not get this joke, and this joke will be outdated. So...
And so the movie from 87, now, granted, as a representation of the Filmation He-Man, it is very poor. Mm-hmm. As a representation of the DC mini comics He-Man, it's a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But it's still missing key elements. We all know that. But as kids, we forgave that because most of us understood that Orko would be impossible to do and Battle Cat would cost a fortune and probably some arms and legs, literally.
Yeah.
When somebody tries to ride that motherfucker. Because you got an orange painted fucking tiger, somebody's going to get killed. So yeah, unless you got, somebody to make you one, that would have been a possibility. Like, look, at the end of the day, for as far as canon goes, it's probably one of the best canon movies you're ever going to find. And I mean that in a sense of not in the I love canon, like greasy fast food way. Like, no, this is a legitimate movie.
Yeah. Right.
Like this actually, and this to the point where Gary Goddard didn't want the Canon logo in front of the movie. He fought for that. But they insisted. He's like, you can have it in all the fucking credits. I just don't want the movie to open with the Canon logo. And they kept asking, well, why not? Why not? Because it was, I don't want them to think it's a Canon movie. And they're like, well, it is. It's like, yeah, but it's not. Then there's the other side of it where Canon didn't really pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because for those who don't know, and they cover this in the documentary and plenty of other places in this stuff, Canon said, all right, we'll make the movie for, I can't remember if it was $30 million. I think they said 28 or $30 million. Can't remember which. Maybe it was even 32. But you got to put up half the money, Mattel. Now, Mattel should have knew something was up at this point. And they should have never made this deal.
This is
because they had movie studios, I'm sure, that were breaking down their. Now, if they would have actually had a meeting with somebody at Warner Brothers or something like that, probably somebody would have told them, like, oh, we'll give you X amount for the rights, and you'll get all the. Obviously, you have the figures, so we just want a percentage of the figures, and da 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 da. That's the kind of deal Warner Brothers probably would have worked out with them, not Canon, because Canon's gonna fuck you 3 ways till Sunday if they can.
Yeah.
So they turn around and so, all right, fine. So fucking, I think it was somewhere between that area, because Canon ponied up somewhere between $12 and $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they used to get the movie started and funneled it into other things.
Yeah. As always.
And then of course, here was the thing though. But for that, what Mattel thought they were buying was creative control.
Mm-hmm.
So when it first started, He-Man couldn't do this, He-Man couldn't do that. They didn't like the costume. They're like, what the fuck is this? And that ran into another thing, because as then they realized, they got some more into it, then they're like, oh, this is going to look great as a toy. And this stuff was designed by William Stout and Mobius. And William Stout sitting there hearing these Mattel guys standing over his shoulders as he's designing, the new Beast Man and then all this other stuff, going, well, this is going to look great as a toy. He goes, excuse me, gentlemen, but I was not contracted to make toys. I was contracted to design a film. If you want to make these toys, then you need to make a new deal with me. So that's why only certain characters that we got from the Masters of the Universe movie, that we didn't, even the one that's supposed to be the movie He-Man and movie Skeletor, don't look anything like they do in the movie.
It's true.
We finally got those figures years later when a deal was made. But that being said, outside of Gwildor and a few random characters, they didn't wind up getting characters because William Stout owned those designs and Mattel didn't make a deal with him. But no, the movie looks amazing. The designs look great. He-Man's costume is a little thin.
Yeah.
Skeletor steals the fucking show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they get about halfway through the making of or they spend all the money that Mattel give them. And Mattel's like, where's our movie? And then Can's like, what movie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. No. They're like, oh, you mean the movie that we haven't finished yet? They're like, yeah. Well, we haven't finished it. They're like, well, why ain't you finished it? We're out of money. Well, we want our movie. You're supposed to pay for the rest. Yeah. You want a movie, you got to pay for it. This is exactly what happened.
Good old Canon.
So Mattel is then faced with, what the fuck do we do? And I'm sure that they're going in a million different circles. Do we fucking sue these bastards and spend the next fucking 5 years in fucking court for a movie that'll never come out and never make any money, because by the time this movie comes out, it won't matter anymore? Do we pony up the rest of the money just so we get this fucking movie out? What do we do? So they ponied up the money. So Canon went back to work. But in the process of this, you guys got to remember when this time period was. This was 86 going into 87. This was the period where He-Man took a dump because of She-Ra toys. So Mattel starts to panic. They go back to Canon. Where's our movie? Yeah, we're still making it. It's almost done. Meaning we're almost out of money. And they go, we need this movie now, and we need it to be good. So all that shit we told you can't do, like He-Man killing and no sex and no violence, put it all in the movie. We don't care. Whatever you can do to make this thing a hit.
Yeah.
And Gary's like, I've already made most of the movie. There's nothing we can do now. Like, if anything, these fuckers are tightening the belts more. Like, he didn't say that probably, but like, I mean, that's where he was at. So there was nothing that could be done to the film other than what happened next, which was when Cannon ran out of money. And Gary still had about a week's worth of movie to shoot yet. And he's sitting here shooting the climax with Skeletor and He-Man battling it out on his huge fucking... So that's the other thing, guys. They took 2 airplane hangars, put together, and built the Eternian Palace.
Yeah.
Dual level. Looks beautiful. They got all the earlier shots done. But as they're shooting the final bit, they're supposed to use all these double levels, and He-Man and Skeletor have this amazing battle. They start moving the shit out. And Gary's like, guys, hello, we're shooting. They're like, tough shit. It's moving out.
Need to rent.
And he literally just kept shooting because he's like, at this point, if they stop me, we're done. This is it. Literally, the clock strikes midnight, and the fucking producer guy goes, nope, you're done. He's like, wait, I still got 2 more shots I need here. You're done. And he's like, literally just in his brain, cutting the movie in his head, just trying to make a coherent fight to finish this movie. Yeah. Because there's nothing. He's like, if I shut down now, there's no ending. And so they go and the movie's done. So they shut him down and they go and screen the movie. Mm-hmm. As is, without the last bit of the movie. Like, it doesn't have the He-Man Skeletor fight complete. Everything else is done except for that. Mm-hmm. So they watch the movie, and Gary's at this point, he's like, okay, this is my moment. I just tell these guys we need a couple more days shooting, and I can finish this up. I can probably set it up over at Boss Films Studio. We could do it, blah, blah, blah. It's exactly what he tells them to do. You know, $50,000, all I need. Mm-hmm. Like, no, we don't need to do it. Like,
looks good.
What do you mean? We don't have an ending to the fight. Menachem says, we'll just fade out. You can't fade out.
Good old kid.
Like, oh yeah, you can. Just fade out. He's like, no, you have to do that. It's literally $50,000. Just trust me on this. He's like, okay, if you put the money up yourself. So Gary fucking did it, put up the money himself. Because he was going to be damned if this movie was going to go out unfinished. Because it's his fucking name on it, right? Like, what the fuck? So he goes and finishes the last few shots, and that's what's in the movie, is the last, like, 2 or 3 shots that you see. They shot at Boss Films of He-Man and those two back and forth, and then Skeletor getting pushed off, and Frank Langella over a green screen, falling down, and then he threw him in a vat of chemicals and had him pop up and say, I'll be back. Cut, print, yeah. Movie's done.
Yeah. The story behind the making of that movie is just so good.
It's fucking crazy. Well, because the other thing, I didn't even get into most of it, man. First of all, they were going to shoot in Iceland for Eternia. Mm-hmm. They were fucking stoked. Even you see all of William Stout's like fucking art for it. He was planning on all that shit to be in Iceland. They had all these great locations scouted out, all that kind of business spent. I don't know how much on that. They get back and Cannon's like, nah, we're going to shoot it in LA. He's like, please, for the love of God, the last place I want to shoot this is Vasquez Rocks. Cut to them shooting it in Vasquez Rocks. And for those who don't know what Vasquez, you should. It's one of the most famous locations. Yeah. It's the Star Trek location. It's the Bill and Ted location. It's been in... What happened to Gary Goddard? As far as I know, he still works. He did his time for his crime, I guess you could say. He's a piece of shit. That's all I know. But he managed to mangle together a semi-decent He-Man movie. That's all I can say on that part.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, granted, like you said, him being in Earth and not having all the characters in it and whatnot in the story, for what it was, it's a fun movie. I like watching it. So, you know, it's a good watch, and it's kind of a shame that we're sort of getting another He-Man on Earth movie before we get even He-Man.
Well, what's even funnier is that it's basically probably what the second film was going to be. We have never been able to 100% confirm this, but we have pretty good reason to believe that what Albert Pyun was going to do for Masters of the Universe 2 got repurposed into Captain America.
Yeah, I thought it was
The sets and the costumes got repurposed into Cyborg.
yeah, I thought Cyborg was the story though. I thought Cyborg was the story.
Nope. I don't think so.
That's
Cyborg is a wholly original story as far as I know that Albert came up with because he knew what he had to work with.
I could have sworn it was like that was meant to be the sequel.
They used the sets and the costumes for Motu and Spider-Man that never got used. In fact, the bad guy actually wears Blade's uniform. Like the whole thing. It's like part of his costume. And there's other things you can pick out. But no, the story itself, because the original story was, this is how I'm pretty sure of this. Because the original Masters of the Universe 2 was going to be about Adam / He-Man banished to Earth and being called Adam in the movie, basically, because he doesn't know his name. He doesn't know he's He-Man. He's got amnesia. And Skeletor comes to Earth around the same time. And so they're on Earth for a long time, but now Skeletor has changed his appearance and become a senator. And He-Man has to remember who he is. So it's almost the exact same plot as the Captain American movie. Yeah. Just change a few things up. Albert Pyun was going to direct all of those things. So we're almost positive that they repurposed the script from Motu 2 to Captain America. And we know for a fact they used the sets and the costumes that were meant for Motu 2, which were basically a lot of the same shit from the first movie. Because Blade's costume is the same fucking costume. Right? So I mean, they were just going to probably repurpose everything they could for Motu 2. And they weren't even going to have Dolph Lundgren back. I don't even think they asked him.
It makes sense.
They hired this other guy, like, as far as I know, without even asking Dolph. And that's because they knew he was going to be cheaper, basically. And he was just some model / whatever. I don't even know if he was an actor. I can't even remember the guy's name. But, like, yeah, it was going to basically be that was the plot. Like, He-Man comes to Earth, forgets who he is, then gets reminded who he is, and has to fight Skeletor, who's now a senator in hiding.
Insane. Yeah. Gotta love canon.
America.
You gotta love
as far as I know, as for the story of Cyborg, that was something that was Albert's. And that I've heard him say, and this is how I'm pretty sure of this now. I've heard him talk about Cyborg in another interview where he said that was a completely original idea that he had come up with because he knew he wanted to make a kick-ass canon movie with what he knew he had. And basically that's what he did. So he just came up with all the shit on the fly kind of thing. However you want to put it.
That makes much more sense.
He's like, I got this building, I got that set, I got this set, I got this kind of costumes, I got this. I could do like a post-apocalyptic kind of thing, and boom. You know.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. That actually does make a lot more sense.
Because, I mean, it's not the exact same story, but it's similar enough that you're like, wait a fucking minute.
Yeah.
And then, this is what they're basically doing with the fucking new movie.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. It's some weird, like, the moment I saw it is like, it felt like a Thor movie to me. And not the good Thor movie.
Honestly, Bryant, I've never understood this need to make a connection to Earth. The connection starts with the Filmation series, is my understanding, if I'm not wrong. And they made Marlena an Earthling for some reason. So He-Man could be half Earthling. Probably inspired by Spock. Like, that's the thing people need to understand. There's a lot of shit in He-Man that it's like a hodgepodge of everything.
Yeah.
It just happens to work. It works on a level that people don't seem to understand. Now, you can look at it and say, oh, it's flamboyantly gay. Now, I look at it, you know what I see when I see these characters? Especially in their packaging. Here, I'll grab a couple right now.
What do you see in these characters?
Well, I took a course in advertising when I was in, in media stuff. And what I see here when I look at these, even though these are not the original card backs, let's keep that in mind, because the original card backs were much better. Because the red and the colors that they had with the original card backs and then these characters, the way they come off, are the same type of colors and schemes that you use in advertising. Because they attract the eye and they look pleasing to the eye. And that's why.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
A lot of the characters their color schemes are set up in that way until you get to some of the later ones where they're just thrown in there and hodgepodges themselves of other figures.
Yeah.
Because you get to shit like Stinkor that is literally just Merman painted black. And add a stink. He smells like patchouli. So your mom thinks you're smoking weed.
Nice.
Or
What do you
other
think?
gimmicky ones like Moss Man here, who kind of smelled like fucking a car freshener. He doesn't smell anymore. He lost his smell pretty quick, no matter which version you had.
Yeah.
Stinkor, that motherfucker, I bet you he still stinks if you got one. You want to know why? They mixed patchouli in with the fucking plastic when they made that bastard.
Probably.
No, I'm not shit. That is a fact.
That is seriously.
That is a fucking fact.
That's
I
funny.
can't remember if I saw it in the Toys That Made Us or what, but I've either read it or seen it somewhere. It is a fucking fact. And yeah, the cast is great, especially for the level. I mean, they did, all in all, the amount of money that Mattel put towards it that they claim that they spent on the movie was somewhere in the $18 to $19 million range. But sadly, the movie, it had potential to do well, but Canon just pulled it from theaters because they didn't have any money to keep advertising for it. And the movie was doing okay. It wasn't doing that bad. It was up against some pretty stiff competition, and it was still playing well week by week. But it just, at that point, they pulled it at like the fourth week, I guess, and I don't know why, other than cost. So, yeah, Canon just was their own worst enemy at that point, because this movie should have been a movie that was a hit for them. Superman could have been better if it was a hit, I think. But Superman, I think the train had already left on that one too. That was the more compromised of the two, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But too bad we don't have our Canon guy here to tell us about this.
Yeah, he's been busy.
I should have thought about it. Yeah, I got a card from him for Christmas. But
so did I. Yeah, he's been busy lately. I think he's been focusing on his book, so he's been scaling back on his podcasts and stuff that he does.
But yeah, so like if you're expecting like a huge leap in quality, don't. I mean, it's a little bit better. Like I bounced back and forth enough to where I'm like, yeah, the older version looks like it's either compressed differently or something, but it's obviously the same scan. And I'm pretty sure it's not even the negative. I'm sure it's got to be I think it's a inner positive.
Do you think we'll ever get a 4K of this, especially if the new one is a hit?
I'm almost positive we'll get a 4K of this because it's MGM.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, Amazon has it now, right?
It's probably already in the works.
It's probably part of that new deal they made.
Let's fucking hope.
Which, they made that deal with who did Alliance? Yeah, they made that deal with Alliance to put out a bunch of physical media and collector's editions. So that might be part of the deal. That seems right up their alley.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Well, yeah.
And the beauty of it is it should look good even with all the opticals, because with Boss, they shot everything on 65 or 70 millimeter for the effects. So for those who don't know why they do that, they'll shoot the main plate in a high high res film stock, because normally film's shot at 35 millimeter. Well, 70 millimeters, double that, literally double that. So they have that, so that when they do all the opticals, as it's getting degraded through each generation, it isn't as bad if they have a higher quality resolution to start from. And I'm using the term resolution because of the modern age, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the effects look pretty good still, even though they're like 2 or 3 generations from the negative. Which is one of the things that I'll point out a lot of times, where clearly you can tell that's the difference when people are asking us, how can you tell? Well, watch a movie and you'll notice that everything looks crisp and clear and clean, and then all of a sudden in the next shot, everything doesn't look quite as crisp and clear and clean. But if you haven't noticed, generally it's because it's an optical, which means that it's either fading into another shot, there's some kind of special effect over it, some kind of credit or subtitle over top of it. That's generally the case.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is sad, because on older films, they actually used to cut around those. I wish they still did that. because they actually
nice.
would go in and you could watch it. And maybe this is why they quit doing that, but like, because you could tell where it would jump from the negative to the splice where they spliced in the fade,
Yeah.
and then out of the fade into the back into the negative.
That's probably why they stopped doing it.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I don't care. At that point, I'm just like, at least I know I'm getting that much more of the negative. I don't give a shit if half a shot isn't.
Yeah. As long as it's there, right?
And it makes a difference. It does make a big difference. Now, again, like I've said, some films that have done some interpositive scans as of late do look good. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Remember last week I talked a little bit about that.
Yeah. The one, I can't even remember the name of it, but I remember you talking about how good it looked. So, yeah. In some cases, I mean, if that's what they got and you got it, so what can you do? All right. Well,
Little Nicky was the one.
yeah, Little Nicky. That's what it was, Little Nicky.
Which is funny because that was right on the cusp of flipping over to 2K interpositives.
Mm-hmm.
Like that movie was probably a year or two away from it. Because I know that's right around the same era because New Line was one of the first ones to adopt that with Jason X. That was what the whole thing with that was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they did it so early that they were still spitting out film instead of sending the digital thing to the theaters. Yeah.
Insane.
Basically like the Star Wars movies were doing. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, like Star Wars. All right. Well, before I go into my last pick, one more. Jared Leto, Skeletor. What do you think?
The sad part is he's perfect for Keldor. Do I think we're actually going to see Keldor in this movie? No.
No.
For those who don't know who the fuck I'm talking about, Keldor is Skeletor before he turns into Skeletor.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's
Doubtful.
different enough that, and Jared Leto, if you see a picture of Keldor, and you're like, all right, I can see why they got Jared Leto. Because it literally looks like Jared Leto, only blue.
Yeah. What's funny is, what would you do if, like, he pulled the hood off and he had his long hair as Skeletor and Jared Leto's long hair as Skeletor?
Fuck
That
me.
would be horrible.
Dude, here's my
Horrible.
thing. In a perfect world, fine. You got to have Jared Leto, let him play Keldor, but the moment he turns into Skeletor, if it's not Steve Buscemi or Willem Dafoe, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, who else could play him right now? Like, ideally, give me another option better than those two. Like, who would you want?
It would be pretty damn good. William Dafoe would be pretty good.
Right?
Especially he with the voice he has, he could be like a very
And if you want to
Skeletor-esque
go into
voice.
a little bit more of the Filmation version, Steve Buscemi works.
Yeah.
Because he can be both menacing and funny.
Shit, we could get Bill Skarsgård for that battery.
Yeah, at that point, I'm like, too much. No.
Yeah, you're
I
not-
love him, but
Yeah, a
no.
little too much. I mean, if Brad Dourif was still able,
Brad Dourif would have been great.
He would have been an
Yeah.
incredible Skeletor.
If you just have him do the voice, fine.
yeah. This voice would be great.
But I don't know. See, Skeletor, that's why I lean into Buscemi, because I like, again, even with Krang, he has that thing where you can do both,
Mhm.
right? He can be menacing and say something that you know he's going to fuck you up, but also he can call you a bumbling boob, and it doesn't come off as, pardon my French, but faggy. That would be an interesting one, Cowabunga dude.
Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
That would be interesting, but I just don't know a Skeletor.
I don't know. Yeah. I was
He'd be
trying to think-
too into it, I think.
he'd be like, what if my Skeletor's face was actually a skeleton? So I'm gonna go to the doctor. I can't do Nicolas Cage, but you know what I'm talking about.
I played a skeleton
I
once
played a skeleton once.
in Ghost Rider. I was flaming, much like He-Man. What?
No.
He's not gay.
I wonder if Matthew Lillard could do
He
it.
gets all his power from a sword. Sounds pretty gay.
Yes, of Zendaya, of course. She would play. She would play.
She'd be
Skeletor.
evil Lynn.
Yeah. Mark Hamill did the voice of Skeletor in the one.
Yeah, it was
cartoon.
basically the Joker.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if
It was
Matthew
alright.
Lillard could pull it off. Maybe a young Matthew Lillard.
No, he's not the right type. He'd be good as like one of the henchmen though. Like I could see him playing like Who would he fit well as?
He just feels like he could fit in our world somehow.
Like Clawful or somebody like that. Like one of the minions.
Yeah.
I could see him doing that. Like have him with like, or him and like Two-Face with like fucking Steve Zahn would probably be funny.
that would be interesting.
But yeah, that's the other reason why I'm not looking forward to this. These motherfuckers do not get this. You got Kristen Wiig doing the voice of Roboto. What the fuck?
Yeah.
The hell? Like, if anything, that's where you grab like Steve Irwin or somebody like that from the old show and say, "Hey, come in here and do a cameo voice or something like that." Come on, because that at least works. Like the Transformer thing when you had Frank Welker and
Optimus Prime come back.
What's
as
his face?
Optimus
As Optimus Prime. Yeah, I can't think of his name
either. But I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Plus, I mean, like, I don't know. Anyways.
And I mean, I know we can't have Lou Scheimer come back in, but I mean, I know Steve Irwin, I think, is still alive, and Oppenheimer's still with us, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he's still. Yeah.
But I love when he talks about how he used to do the voices. He's like, he goes, I can't do separate sessions.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, when I'm doing Skeletor with Beast or with Merman or any of those guys, I have to do both talking off of each other. So I'll be like, Merman, you moron! Don't call me a moron. Like he would do them back and forth because then he would know exactly how he was supposed to respond. And I'm told, like, I don't know if I could do that. Yeah, I just did it, but
couldn't do it for like 2-3 hours at a time.
I don't know. See, I have to be really solid. Excuse me. I have to be really solid in the voice as a voice actor. Because for me, and I noticed this as I'm watching like old cartoons or shows with, like you see like the pilot and you'll hear the voices kind of morph into what they become. And then it's like, okay, so now they've gotten to the point where this is the voice from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
The Simpsons is a great example of that with Homer.
Oh, yeah.
Because Homer started out less like this and more like Walter Matthau. If you watch the original show,
yeah,
he's doing Walter Matthau. But then eventually Homer got dumber and dumber and dumber. And what was I talking about?
Yeah.
Woo! Candy. Yeah, like that. I mean, that eventually you get to that season when it's, oh, that's Homer from here on out.
Yep, that's Homer. Good night, Brian.
So sometimes it takes some time to kind of find. Elf is another one, too. Watch the first few episodes of Elf until he starts getting into the groove. The voice is much up here like this most of the time. Then he gets much looser later on. It's like more like his natural voice.
Yeah.
So like it takes time sometimes to kind of find it, like, especially ones that I'm creating. Because like right now, Mr. Burger and some other people have me doing some voice. It's like I don't know how to fucking do certain things when they ask me to, but it's like, all right, I'll try. But like, yeah, you asked me to do like a merman voice. That's easy. Yeah. Beast man. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Cartman used to be way more nasally. Yeah. Yes.
And I like my Bat Tom. People wonder, like, people think I'm always copying the College Humor guy. No.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen, my Bat Tom, kind of like the guy from House Party, has two voices. It's Trump and Cartman. If you listen, you can hear them. And that's sometimes how I'll make a voice too, is you just combine voices. Yes.
Yeah, you just combine it and make something like that. I've never been good with voices. I've never had a good voice. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll move on to my final pick of the night and we'll close it down. Now, this is an official This is not an official Blu-ray because this movie does not have a Blu-ray, but shout out to our friend of the channel, Rick, for making this one for me because he found an incredible scan of this movie. I don't know if it comes from a German release or something like that. I asked him. He couldn't remember where he got it. So I watched Stakeout with Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio. That's right, the Mighty Ducks guy. So I watched this. It's great. The scan that he's got on here, that this Blu-ray he made for me, looks incredible. It looks pretty good. I was surprised how well it looked. I had not seen this movie in a long time. This does have a DVD. This movie does have a DVD. There is no U.S. Blu-ray that I know of. I'm not, like I said, I'm not even sure if this is a foreign release Blu-ray, but Rick has his ways. I don't know where he gets stuff from. I don't know if he's into business or not. I think he might be. Not sure. Don't want to say it too much, but he made this for me. Stakeout looks great. Madeline Stowe. Oh yeah, Madeline Stowe in this movie.
It got a Blu-ray release at one point, didn't it?
I don't think it's got a U.S. Blu-ray at all.
You sure?
I'm not. I looked on Blu-ray.com. They have no.
Maybe you're right. I thought Kino had both of them, but I think I thought they lost the rights to this one. But I mean, maybe you're right.
I'm not.
Or not Kino, but Mill Creek. I mean,
Mill Creek. It could possibly, maybe. So,
because I thought they had both of them at one point, but then now for some reason you can only get the second one. Maybe you're right. Maybe
I went to
only the second one.
Yeah, I went to Blu-ray.com and I looked to see if they had a Blu-ray on record. They have no Blu-ray on record for
if you say so, then that's probably the case.
But they do have a Blu-ray on record for Another Stakeout, so they do have that. So
then you're probably correct. I just for some reason, I guess
I'm not. Yeah, but this one looks great. I don't know where he found it. I asked him and he couldn't remember. So,
I know that he probably gets it off of a digital version. Let's say. Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of these come from anymore. I mean, you go out, you can get a lot of movies in HD on digital.
Yes, you can. You can.
Yeah, see.
Yes.
Oh, fuck. We'll be lucky to ever get that, guys. We could hope that, Disney.
Yeah, Disney. This movie, I doubt Disney will ever. This is such a good movie. It's such a good. I miss movies like this. It's a grown-up movie. You know, it's just a fun movie. Madeline Stowe is awesome in this movie. She's hot, smoking hot. But the camaraderie between Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez is so good. It's got a hell of a cast to it as well with them, and Forrest Whitaker's in it as well. And what's his name? The bad guy that they're trying to catch, Aiden. What's his name? Aiden Quinn? Something. Aiden Quinn. Duh. Yeah, like everybody in this movie.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah. So the basic thing is Aiden Quinn breaks out of prison, and Madeline Stowe was his girlfriend, and he stashed a bunch of money in her house that she doesn't know about. So the FBI hires the Seattle detectives of Emilio and Richard and Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker and the dad from Wonder Years, which is his partner. So like Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio get the night shift, they get the day shift. So, but you don't really follow them too, So the Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio are staking out across the street from Madeline Stowe's house, watching her to see if he shows up. Richard Dreyfuss ends up going over there, and he ends up falling for her. And getting mixed up with her on that front, and then meanwhile you have Aiden Quinn coming and trying to get the money and everything. It's a really great movie, and so it was a fun to watch. But there was one part I had to look it up because I was laughing about it, because when they first read the description of her who they gotta watch, they're like, oh, she's 5'6", and they're like, oh, too tall for us. And then when he's sneaking out of the house, Richard Dreyfuss is sneaking out of her house, and they're like, we have a Caucasian suspect leaving the house at 5'10". I was like, I don't think that's right. And I looked up Richard Dreyfuss's height. He's 5'4.5". So
yeah, he's pretty short.
Yeah, he's pretty short. I was like, so they Tom Cruised him a little bit, gave him a 5'10" instead of 5. So, but no, it's a fun movie. It's like a really good, great buddy cop movie. And Emilio Estevez is actually not in it as much as I thought. He's actually not really in it a whole lot compared, because it's really a Richard Dreyfuss movie, and him and her getting involved with each other and everything. So it was really good. It was really good. Yes, Emilio is taller than Richard Dreyfuss, because I looked up Emilio afterwards, and Emilio is 5'5", and Richard Dreyfuss is 5'4.5". So there you have it. And they were both short. Funniest line is leaving Snow's house, and he describes. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But no, it's great, and they play tricks on each other up in there, and the cops and everything. So it's a fun little movie, and it's an action. It's like a Lethal Weapon type movie almost, but without the I'm too old for this shit stuff. Pretty much. But no, it is a fun movie. I really wish it did have an official Blu-ray. But I'm thankful for Rick. This looks great. It's a great Blu-ray, high quality scan of the film. So shout out to Rick for making that for me. He's done that for me twice now with PCU and this, because both of them don't. Really, that's all. No, it's a good movie. You know what it is. You know it's a good movie. It's a great movie. So it's just like the interaction between the cops watching her house, and then yes, you see Madeline Stowe. You see a lot of Madeline Stowe. She gets naked in the movie, takes a shower, so you get a shower scene, and then her and Richard Dreyfuss hit it off, and the bad guy shows up and they fight and everything. So it's good. It's good. It's a good movie. Good movie. Yeah, the great villain too. Yes, Richard Stick Montgomery. Yep. Hey, take it easy on Dreyfuss. Mary Ellen Moffat broke his heart and has a scar. It happens. It happens. I like Dreyfuss. He's kind of been canceled today, I guess you could say, a little bit. So, yeah, they are that short. I looked them up. I looked up to make sure how tall they were. Richard Dreyfuss is 5'5", 4.5", and Emilio is 5'5". They are that short. What can I say? They are. But no, yeah, I would. That's all I have for you. I watched it. It's a good movie. I wish I had special features and deleted scenes or interviews and commentary to go along with that, but I don't. So there you guys have it. I know it's no He-Man, but it's a good movie. Good old-fashioned adult movie. You know what I mean? I miss movies like that. It just because it feels like we just don't get that variety of type of movies like that anymore. I don't know what it is. We've talked about it a million times. So good movie, good actors. And then of course you get the sequel, and they decided to replace all those actors with Rosie O'Donnell. And they all thought they were making the greatest sequel of all times. I remember them saying that in interviews. It's like, we thought we were making the greatest sequel movie of all times, and it sucked. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they were wearing lifts in their shoes because they do look taller than they're supposed to in the movie. Good camera angles, good lifts in their shoes, all that good stuff. So, you're one of the few people I've heard say they actually liked Another Stakeout. Most people don't like Another Stakeout. I didn't like Another Stakeout. It's been years since I've seen it, but I remember just thinking, this movie sucks compared to the original, because I like the original so much. Was so good. It was so good. But anyways, yeah. It's like Madeline Stowe is in the sequel, but I think he's like married to her, if I remember. But she's only like in the beginning, and he's talking to her because before he has to go out on the Another Stakeout, they're going to go pose on. So it's been a while since I've seen the second one. But yeah, you lose a great cast for Rosie O'Donnell. I don't know whose bright idea that was, so who knows. But Tom, that's it. That's all I got. And as always, guys, I appreciate you, Tom. I appreciate you, everybody out in the audience and in the chat watching and hanging with us tonight. You guys, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and hit all the good spots there. I appreciate y'all. Y'all don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.